इतना सारा कनेक्शन है आजकल. एक के बाद one good thing about this is it gets recorded. First we go to regular kirtan, then Shri Narasimha Bhagwan ki, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Swami Bhagwan ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanand. Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Prasad Bhuta Vimate Bhakti Vedanta Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Jaya Radha, Gopi Radha, Gopi Radha, Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Jayo Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Varadeva, Jaya Subhata, Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Pattanami, Nayana Pattanami, Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Pattanami, Nayana Pattanami, Bhavatu me. Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo 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 Lakshmi Narasimha. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Jagannath Baldeva Subhadra Mai ki, Nitai Gauranga Bhagwan ki, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Swami Bhagwan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gurudev ki, Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande. Hare Krishna. Thank you for participating. We'll do one more kirtan. Jaya Jaya Jagannatha Sachirananda Tribhuvana Kore Jaan Charana Vanda. Jaya Jaya Jagannatha Sachirananda Tribhuvana Kore I forgot the tune. Jagannath Sachirananda Tribhuvane Kore Jaan Sachirananda. I think it's better than that. So we'll try again. Neelachale Shanka Chakra Gada Padmadhara. Neelachale Shanka Chakra Gada Padmadhara. Neelachale Shanka Chakra Gada Padmadhara. Now बोले पूरा बेटे रावणा बदीला बोले पूरा बेटे रावणा बदीला बोले पूरा बेटे रावणा बदीला बोलो फिर वैभव लीला प्रकाशा को लीला प्रकाशा को लीला बोलो फिर वैभव लीला प्रकाशा को लीला जय जय जगन्नाथ सचिदानंद त्रिभुवन छोड़ेगा चरना बंधना जय सचिदानंद राधार भावे में तोरा अवतारा भावे में तोरा अवतारा राधार भावे में तोरा अवतारा जय जय जगन्नाथ सचिदानंदन त्रिभुवन पुरेजा चरणा वंदना जय जय जगन्नाथ सचिदानंदन श्री जगन्नाथ भगवान की हरि बोल। What is the time? 6. Okay. Let's start with today's program. Bhavika, you can come in the front. I don't know why this is not moving. I don't know. And now it's moving. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चना राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रये नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौ ब्राह्मणाहिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामीनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयति गिरिमित्कृपहतमं वन्दे श्री गुरुदिनतारिणं श्री परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम् ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सभ्याभ्यन्तरं सुचे श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna. Happy Narasimha Chaturdashi to all the families. Hare Krishna. So today's appearance day of Lord Sri Narasimha. We all have had, I don't know if you studied in CBSE or ICSE, but we did have a chapter on Narasimha. You remember? Somewhere in social science or I don't know. I remember studying in my school days. And all that was mentioned is there is this half lion, half man who comes and he saves his devotee Prahlad. Right? But after coming to ISKCON Society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, I understood that there is so much more than what we have heard. There is so much more to learn, right? In fact, the problem with our current education system is they're always behind proving that is it a fact or not. Meaning, did Narasimha Lila happen or not? Is it a story that was created by some religious people, or is it a true history that has actually happened? And that's the main focus that today's education puts itself into. But if you look at our Vedic education, it is never the focus about whether it is a history fact or not. It's more on the values. The focus is always on the values. That is the reason We never maintained museums with artifacts of history. Right? We more focused on, did the Leela happen and what was the teachings of that Leela? Right? And that is exactly what Acharyas, great Acharyas like Ramanacharya, Madhvacharya, Vimbarkacharya, they all focus on. So what is there to learn from this Leela? Rather than trying to prove the whole world that it actually happened. If we focus on whether it actually happened, we can easily prove it has happened. We don't have to put a big head behind it, but we don't focus on that. But with the changing times, we also have to now focus on proving that it actually happened. Because our children are not going to just easily, get that answer, right? So the mere fact that there are so many Narasimha temples in this part of India, right? Actually, this whole Telangana and Andhra Pradesh is called Narasimha Kshetra also, right? There are thousands of temples, if I'm not undermining, thousands, right? And the mere fact that there is Ahobilam, with the name Ahobilam, and there are so many places on Ahobilam which represent exactly the things that happened in the Leela. And the mere fact that there is one Ahobilam in Pakistan also, because in different yugas, the Lord has done pastimes in different places on the planet, right? And there are so many places around, in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, where the Lord's pastimes are being chanted. And different great acharyas have actually seen the Supreme Lord appearing there, right? He washing his hands at one place, he giving his, lecture at one place, or speaking to his devotees at one place. Simhachalam is a place where the Lord appeared also. So, of course, at least we are all, many of us who are assembled here, we are not going to focus on whether it happened or not. It did happen, right? Lord Narasimha did come. But most importantly, proving others, but proving internally, right? Do we want Narasimha to appear in our life, right? How Narasimha is going to make a big difference to our life is what we should really focus on. And today's Leela, we are going to spend, we all have heard Narasimha Leela, maybe you all know better than me, but we are going to focus on some aspects of Narasimha Leela, which will make a difference in our life, right? How we can apply it, what we can learn from it, and how we can motivate ourselves to move forward in bhakti, right? But normally, when we start a satsang, we spend a lot of time in kirtan. A lot of them feel, unfortunately, that kirtan is not Hare Krishna. Thank you, please. Yeah, a lot of them feel that kirtan is not actually that very important, right? I'm generally speaking, people come at the time of lecture, they don't come at the time of kirtan. But actually, if you don't come for kirtan, you can't understand the lecture. This is spiritual science. If you don't chant the names loud enough, you can't get Krishna in your heart. Kirtan is a form to cry. Kirtan is not a form to just chant. Kirtan is a time where a devotee cries for the Supreme Lord, right? Not like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's crying, and then the Lord appears, right? And when he appears in your heart. So I humbly request everybody who are coming regularly also, please come before the kirtan. Get some service into play, come early so that you can actually participate in the kirtan. Because you are coming with so many worldly responsibilities, no? You are taking care of so many things. Then you come here. Suddenly, how can you make your mind in a position to hear the katha? At least it's not possible for me. Every time I went to any satsang where I have gone after the kirtan, I could not connect to the speaker at all. Because where is that Lord? Where is that cry? Where did I cry? Where did the God appear for you? God is there here. Lord Narasimha is right here. Right? But is he really in your heart right now? Has he come into your heart personally? That happens when you do kirtan. And before even kirtan, we do service. Right? Like when we invite God, we do so many things in our home, isn't it? We keep flowers at the door. We make a nice rangoli in front of the door, right? We keep so many things in the house. We invite the guests. All this is part of satsang. All this is part of festival, right? And this part of the city, we don't have a temple. We don't have a temple. So there are no deities, right? So when new people come to a temple, they see the deities. They get attracted to the deities, isn't it? So it's very easy to, for everyone to be engaged looking at the deities. But in this part of the city, Krishna has given a special responsibility. What is that? We have to stand as, sevaks of those deities to invite everybody ahead of the time. And that is when we please the God. Right? We should be a hall filled with devotees and the Lord appears inside the hall. Is that nice? Right? That is how it should be. It should not be reversed. Of course, in Kali Yuga, the problem is doctor is running behind the patients. Patient is not running behind the doctor. Right? But we should remember that. We should bring the transformation. And especially festivals are the days when Supreme Lord is extremely merciful. And we should be ahead. We should be much, much ahead. And a lot of you are also fasting today. I know that a lot of you are fasting, right? So you should be even more enthusiastic. Dusk is going to come. Sun is going to set. I can see a little shade there. Sun is going to set. And this is the time Lord Narasimha is going to appear in our lives, right? So we should be very enthusiastic in our kirtans, enthusiastic in coming, and enthusiastic in participating, enthusiastic in hearing, and enthusiastic in sharing what you hear, right? So now we are going to chant this mantra, the Narasimha Kavaja mantra, 108 times. Should we all do that? Yeah. But I want you to chant with enthusiasm. Remember, Prabhuji, the festival is not for anybody outside. Festival is for us. Right? As much as we make it personal, it has so much effect on our consciousness. Right? I'll just have a little sip of water. Some of you are also doing Nirjal, I believe. So, but I couldn't do, I had to just give up on water. Does someone have their beats? Just to count 108 times? Yeah? Can you start from the beginning, Matthew, if you don't mind? Yeah? Okay. Just let us know when it is 108. We can do more, not less. Shri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Jai Jai Narasimha Dev, Prahladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Brinda, Shri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Jai Jai Narasimha Dev, Prahladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Brinda, Shri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Jai Jai Narasimha Dev, Prahladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Brinda, Ugram Viram, Mahavishnu, Jalantam Sarvato Mukham, Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram, Mrutyur Mrutyam Namamyaham. So we'll chant. We'll first chant Prabhupada Pranam Mantra and then we'll chant 108 times Ugram Viram Mahavishnu. Right? So what is the meaning of this mantra? May my head be protected by the moon-colored one who is the greatest among humans, my obeisances onto the ferocious and powerful great Vishnu, the fiery one whose faces are on all sides, the fearful one, Narasimha, who causes the death of even death personified, who can overcome death. Right? So it is basically a calling for Narasimha Dev to come and protect us. Right? Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswat Deve, Gauravani Pracharane, Sunyavadi, Pasyantya Deshakarne, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvato Mukham, Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrutyam Namamyaham. Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvato Mukham, Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrutyam Namamyaham. Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvato Mukham, नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for chanting Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Mantram. You all have seen, how many here have gone to a jungle anytime? Not lived in a jungle, definitely. We are in a concrete jungle though, here. But we have gone to a jungle. So we have heard of stories where when a lion enters the jungle, everybody starts running away. Isn't it? Everybody starts running away. Who all runs? Deer, rabbits, right? Zebras, so-called. Everybody starts running away. So in the same way, when Lord Narasimhadev enters our heart, all the anarthas start running away. Right? All the anarthas, our anger, ego, pride, jealousy, right? Or whatever anarthas that we have inside. Anni anarthalu paripotai. The moment Lord Narasimhadev enters our heart. Right? So 3 times we are going to chant this mantra, really asking Narasimhadev to enter our heart. He has already entered this room. He is here. But he has to enter our heart. If you think that he has not entered your heart yet, before we start the katha, let us chant 3 times intensely, praying, begging, please enter my heart, because if you don't enter, these anarthas will not go outside. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Ishanam Bhadram Mrityur Namanyam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Shri Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. So now we are going to discuss for some time Narasimha Leela, right? So what is new about Narasimha Leela? There are so many things that are new, right? So let us try to see how much we will learn on one aspect today of how God protects us. How God protects us. That is the focus, right? We all know that Lord protects us, but how we have to see how He protects us, right? How we have to see how He protects us. So we'll focus on that, right? But before even we get into that aspect, we are going to spend a little time on the Leela itself. So millions of years ago, if you believe so, which is true again, millions of years ago, there was this one evening when Kashyap Muni was performing tapasya. He was doing Akhanda tapasya. He was doing Kashyap Muni. And while he performs his tapasya, his wife is to assist him, Diti. But one evening, due to the transcendental will of the Supreme Lord, Diti became tempted to associate with Kashyap Muni. She wanted to physically associate with him and have children. And Kashyap Muni immediately told her, he was sitting in the evening time, and evening time is generally not a good time to associate. Male and female should not come together at this time, especially between 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Why? Why is this time not very good for associating? Because this is the time mostly ghostly, creatures go around the planet. Negative forces are there in the planet, right? So you generally don't, even if you see our paddhati of getting marriages, right? In the marriages also, there is a muhurta that is chosen for the male and female to associate. Unfortunately, it is so cheaply shown in today's day and time. Very unfortunate, right? I mean, something that is so important, that is called Garbhadhana Sanskar, which happens in our Vedic culture, where a male and a female, comes together to beget children. But in Bollywood movies and Tollywood movies, that is shown as one of the most lustiest activity done on a bed of flowers, and the whole paraphernalia that happens around it. But it's not like that. It's a devotional service also. Right? Yeah, it's a devotional service also, right? To actually have children is part of a service to God. Having children is not that, okay, we got married, we'll have children now. Children will anyway happen. But it was part of devotional service to have good children. And according to the time and muhurta at which a male and female comes together, according to that muhurta, the right soul is sent by God into the womb. And this is called Garbhadhana Samskar. Like right from the birth until death, we have different sanskars, right? But the first sanskar that normally people think is Namakarana Sanskar. After the child is born, they think that, okay, we have to give him a name. So that is the first activity that is done. But that is not the first activity. The first activity starts even before the association happens, which is before even the male and female come together. So when Diti told Kashyap Muni that I want to associate with you, immediately Kashyap Muni understood there are 3 reasons for for any activity to happen. One is our free will, second is God's will, and third is evil. Right? So he understood that there is some evil force tempting me, tempting my wife or telling my wife to come and do this activity. But at the same time, he also understood that there is some God's will also. So why should I not do it? Right? Kashyap Muni would have told his wife, no, this is not the right time. We should not associate this time. But he didn't do that. Because Paramatma within his heart told, I think there is a Leela that is going to happen and you are going to be part of it. So let's go ahead and do it. Right? Now, how do we all understand whether it is God's will or evil before we use our free will? Definitely, we are not Kashyap Munis here. Right? So from this Leela, we should not take it as, okay, maybe it's God's will, let me continue. No, that's not the thing. He did it, right? Kashyap Muni did it. So when Kashyap Muni and Diti associated, immediately, right after the association, the soul, the great souls, actually great soul Jay and Vijay, appeared as demons onto the planet. And as soon as they appeared into the womb of Diti, immediately the whole environment, the whole climate, the whole planet's atmosphere started changing. Evil omens started showing up everywhere. Evil omens, right? Evil omens in the sense children are dying before the parents. That's the evil omen, right? Children are dying before the parents. Cows are being tortured. That's the evil omen, right? It's getting hotter and hotter. Winters are becoming, more colder and colder. These are all evil omens, right? And if these evil omens are happening, means there is something wrong. Wrong souls have come onto the planet. So when these two souls came in, immediately Kashyap Muni, after the act, he looked at his wife and he told, your desire is fulfilled. But two very, very demoniac persons have entered the planet. And now we have to pay the consequences for that, right? And no wonder, if you look at today, many people in general, especially the next coming generation, is not very interested in Krishna conscious discussions. Why? Because they are souls who are wandering around, who are not interested in God consciousness. And because most of the associations of male and female is happening at a very unauspicious time, they are the ones who are coming onto the planet. So we should not blame them if somebody is not interested in godly discussions, because they're not meant to be. They were nicely going around, atheistic people going around nicely in the sky. We called them here, right? And now, if they are part of our family, and if you're telling them that they should become God conscious, it's not going to happen automatically. Parents have to put a lot of effort. Today, if parents have to bring children to Krishna consciousness or God consciousness, it's very difficult. Because did we all associate? I mean, you can talk to yourself or look at your wife and ask that question. Did you all associate at an auspicious time? Did you even see the auspicious time when your children were supposed to take birth? Most of us know. Forget about even Garbhadan Sanskar. Garbhadan Sanskar is a time in Vedic society, a male and female chant 64 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra before even they come together and they say that we're going to have children. 64 rounds, meaning there is no lust in the thought anymore. After chanting 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 10 rounds, which one round takes around 8 to 10 minutes, right? So 64 rounds, and then you go to your wife and your wife comes to you and says that, okay, now we are going to have children. Now the whole act of sex or whole act of coming together is no more a sensual activity. It's more like a devotional service where you're calling for the right souls to come. And when such souls appear on this planet, you see Ramanujacharya, you see Madhvacharya, you see Srila Prabhupada, they're not ordinary souls. Though externally we see that, some people are God conscious, some people are not, but there is a lot of piety and homework done with the parents. So parents have such a big role. Scriptures explain, parents have such a big role of, first of all, begetting the children with the right consciousness. And okay, now what do? We did not. Now we have children who have come here from whichever planet. Now we have to engage them in Krishna conscious activities. That is the next thing we have to do. We have to conduct satsangs and we have to bring them into these satsangs. So new good God conscious values will come into them. Right? So after they associated, the super brothers appeared, the two demoniac brothers. Right? As you can, I just got a picture from Google. They don't appear like this, but but so the point is, both of them were demoniac, and they were named what? Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Yeah. So Hiranyakashipu was the elder brother. Hiranyaksha was the younger brother. Now Hiranya means what? What is the meaning of Hiranya? Gold. Right? So both of them were very attracted to gold. Gold meaning wealth. With wealth comes fame. Right? With fame comes name. So they were very, very attracted to gold. And Kashipu means bed. Kashipu means bed. Bed meaning, there are two meanings to bed. One is somebody who is attracted to laziness in life. All the time sleeps. Chance mila, so nalage. Right? So people who are more affected by mode of ignorance. Right? People are attracted to bed. And second meaning of bed is people who are too lusty towards the opposite sex. So both these brothers had those qualities. And Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And if you want to know, how much they used to earn, their LinkedIn profile, you can say that maybe 100 billion gold in a month, something like that. And business was extracting gold and enjoying the senses. And their hobbies was to conquer worlds. I think with this profile, if somebody keeps a LinkedIn, lot of people will send their daughters, to get married to this fellow today's day and time. But the point is, both these brothers were very, very powerful from their birth itself, because they were originally the devotees of God. They were not ordinary. First activity that was done was by the younger brother Hiranyaksha when he started extracting more than needed from the planet. He started extracting gold. He started making so many big tunnels and holes and problems on the planet. He started extracting so much gold that our planet right now is floating in a particular orbit, right? And who is holding that orbit? Lord Shri Krishna is holding that orbit. Now, but there is a whole mixture of minerals and chemicals and different things in the planet which keeps it on the orbit. Even till now, science doesn't understand how is Earth floating. Though they say that religion, is scienceless, but they can't answer a simple thing that religion says that the planet is being held by the Supreme Lord. But scientifically speaking, it has a lot of things inside it, right? There is a whole magnetic energy inside which is holding the orbit. And Hiranyaksha went and disturbed that equilibrium of the material, of the minerals inside. And as a result, what happened? It lost its orbit and it fell into the Garbhodaka ocean. Yeah, and as soon as it fell, Supreme Lord appeared as Lord Varahadev, right? He appeared in the form of a boar. And he came, it is explained that Brahma, he was doing his tapasya and he was looking at all the planets, and suddenly one planet, boop, it fell down. Immediately was, my God, planet has fell down. No, Brahma is the secondary creator, he's not the primary. He can't go and lift the planet. And immediately he started praying to the Supreme Lord. And as soon as he was praying, from his nostril, a small creature, zoop, it came out. Like it just came out and started expanding. It started becoming a thumb of size of a thumb, and it started becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It became so bigger that actually the Supreme Lord, who appeared like in the boar form, went and lifted the planet Earth and brought it back to its orbit. And as soon as he brought it to his orbit, Hiranyaksha, the brother, he became very angry. That he felt that Supreme Lord is taking the name and fame now, that he has brought back the planet. So he started fighting with it. Now it's a big fight. We'll not get into that big fight. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, the fight between both of them went on for hundreds of years. From our calculation, it just went on for a long time. And finally, the Supreme Lord defeated him. He killed him. Actually, it is explained that Supreme Lord, when he fights with demons, he has a lot of fun. Right? Have you seen a cat and a rat anytime? Right? Have you seen a cat and a rat? Anybody? Really? Not Tom and Jerry. Actually, a cat and rat. Have you seen? Right? I have seen once. In a village, I have seen once. The cat catches a rat. Right? And finally, it's difficult to catch the rat, but after it catches, then it leaves the rat. Again, rat will feel, I think I can run again. Again, it catches the cat. Rat. Again, it leaves him. And he says, okay, ab kya karega? Again, it starts crawling. Then again, it catches. Then it actually plays. You should see that. It actually plays with the rat. In the same way, Lord Sri Krishna also, Lord Varahadev was playing with Hiranyaksha. He would beat him, then he would, literally go to a point of killing him, then leave him. And immediately Hiranyaksha will say, hey, I think I'm going to conquer him now. Right? He'll suddenly get the confidence back. Again, he'll jump on him and he'll start going and fighting. And again, Lord Varahadev will control him and again leave him. And again, he'll feel that, okay, I'm going to. But, who was getting tension in the whole sequence? Brahma. Are you going to kill him or no? And as the evening time happens, the demoniac forces increase. And all the devatas started wondering that, my God, what is going to happen now? Though they know that nobody can conquer the Supreme Lord, but out of anxiety, they started feeling that will Varahadev kill, Hiranyaksha, or what is going to happen now? It's actually the whole style of Bollywood and Tollywood that has been copied. Copied from Varalila only, whereby the hero gets beaten up completely, right? And then he rises, and then nothing happens to him. I don't know why, right? The villains are beating him, and everything is happening, but the guy stands like this, okay, Marlo, right? And then he finally kills him, and then the police come. The police is not there in this Leela, but that is what Varahadev did. He had fun with Hiranyaksha. He nicely had fun with him. And then finally, when the time came, when he felt that abhi picture mein masala nahi hai, then he said, okay, let me kill this fellow. He just killed him. Right? Krishna doesn't need to put a great effort to kill people. God doesn't need to appear like this or like that and kill people. right? God is in our heart. If he simply tells the heart, stop, we are dead, isn't it? He has just that is called heart attack in other words, right? Your heart stops pumping and you're dead. So he doesn't. But in order to attract all of us, he does all these leelas. He comes like Varahadev, Vamandev, Matsyadev, right? So many ways. So Hiranyaksha, damage done to the nature, he extracted a lot of gold. Now, what are we doing? Are there Hiranyakshas today on this planet? Of course, we are. We are also messing up with the planet, right? Global warming and so many, problems we are creating to the planet, extracting more than what we need. Little Hiranyakshas are even there in 20th century, right? So, but for these little things, Krishna is not going to come, right? So, but we have to learn that we have to, as devotees, we should be more responsible than outside people when we are using Krishna's resources. How many of you, when you get up from your cubicle, switch off the light and go? How many of you should do that? Simple things. Devotion is not that like Nariyal liya, Agarbatti liya, and I'm a devotee now, right? In every little act, right? I was cutting vegetables in a temple in Denver, and I cannot forget. They keep repeating this every time. There is this Rasagya Prabhu, one nice devotee, and he was in charge of cooking at that time. And I was cutting tomatoes. I like cutting tomatoes. I don't know why. So how many tomatoes you have to cut? Almost like maybe 30 kgs, 30, 40 kgs. Sunday feast, no? So you have to cook for like 500 people. So we used to go in the afternoon till evening. We are busy in cooking. So I was cutting tomatoes. Suddenly he came to me like, Prabhu, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, what am I doing? I'm cutting tomatoes. Like, no, can't you see what are you doing? He said, Prabhu, I'm cutting tomatoes. Then he said, no, see how you're cutting. See, you are supposed to only remove a little part of that branch. That little flower attachment, little part. You know how much you're removing? Almost half a centimeter more you're removing. I looked at him like this. He was looking at me like this. For the first time in my life, I couldn't give a justification. Because at home, whenever my wife shouts at me, I justify immediately. This is the reason. But now I can't. Right? I can't give a justification. Rasakya Prabhu is looking at me. Prabhu, what are you doing? I said, okay, Prabhu, I'll cut it properly. And the next, whatever number of kgs I cut in my life, those were the most meditation, tomatoes. Because I was cutting tomato and looking at him. Right? Cut it exactly. But he told me a very beautiful lesson. He said, nature, God has created, with whichever name you call the God, he has given us this. None of us have researched and created tomatoes, right? So far, no scientist has created tomato in a laboratory. It still comes from a plant only. So when he has given, that is the energy of the Supreme Lord. You have to use it diligently. You can't just throw things away, right? Don't leave prasadam. When prasadam is served, eat it completely or take it home, right? Where is Chandra Prabhu? Somewhere there, I don't know. Okay, Chandra Prabhu also sent a message in the group. Yeah, he sent a message. Today, whatever prasadam you serve, don't waste it. Have every little morsel of it. One, because it is prasad, and second, because it is energy of the Supreme Lord. You should not be wasting it. And that applies to everything in your house. Whether you have AC, whether you have a DC, whatever you have in your house. Right? Use it how much is needed. Lights, how much is needed. Water, how much is needed. Everything. And everything reflects into your respect for the Supreme Lord. A devotee is not a devotee inside the temple. A devotee is devotee in every act that he does. Right? So now, next what happened? Because Hiranyaksha was killed, Hiranyakashipu, his elder brother, became very, very upset. Naturally, he was his younger brother, right? Almost like a twin brother. So he got very, very angry. And then it is also explained, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will be astonished to know that he gave almost like a Bhagavad Gita class to his mother, Hiranyakashipu. He told that, Hiranyaksha's mother is crying, Diti is crying, and Hiranyakashipu goes and tells his mother, Mother, don't cry. Because what has died is only the body. The soul is always alive. The soul is, going back to, is going back to take another body. What is that sloka? Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yapanam jara tata dehantaras praptir dhirastatranam munyati. Right? So there are many slokas. What is that? There are another sloka. That's najayate mruyate va kadachi nayam bhutva bhavitavayam bhuya ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Right? Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Your body dies, soul doesn't die. So this Bhagavad Gita class is giving to his mother. What do we understand from this? Even demoniac people know Bhagavad Gita. So just because one person knows Bhagavad Gita doesn't mean that he is a devotee. Knowing Bhagavad Gita, having knowledge, doing meditation doesn't make a devotee. A devotee becomes a devotee when he serves the devotees and the Supreme Lord. This you should understand. उट्टी ज्ञान उन्टने सरिपोदु सेवा उन्नाले सिर्फ ज्ञान के होने से बस नहीं होता सेवा भी करना चाहिए. Then you become a devotee, right? So Hiranyakashipu was a devotee in a way. He was originally a devotee, but right now he's a demon. But he had enough knowledge. He actually consoled his mother, don't worry. But then he had this raging anger inside against Vishnu, that you appeared and you killed my brother. So he went for tapasya. And it was not an ordinary tapasya. A tapasya which went on for thousands of years. So he told his wife Kayadu that I'm going to come, I'm going to do tapasya, I am going to get the powers and weapons which nobody can, conquer upon me, and I can actually go and kill Vishnu. He was so much angry on Vishnu and he did this tapasya. And tapasya was so intense, it is explained, the heat on the planet started increasing because of his tapasya. And at one point, Prabhuji and Matajis, he even lost his body while doing tapasya. Now, there are a lot of yogis around. I don't think anybody can compete with Hiranyakashipu also. Right? He was not an ordinary person. His tapasya was meditating on so much that his gross body was gone. Gross body is made of what? Earth, water, fire, ether, air. All these 5 elements is gone. At one point, Hiranyakashipu was not even visible. But his subtle body was still there. Subtle body is made of what? 3 things. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. Which thinks that I am this body. And at that time, Brahma appeared. Because Brahma has a duty. He has to appear because he is praying specifically towards Brahma. And Brahma has to appear when the tapasya has reached a point. But the Devatas were very worried when Brahma was going to meet, Hiranyakashipu. But while the tapasya was happening, let's minimize this. While the tapasya was happening, Indra felt this is the right time to finish everything else that Hiranyakashipu has. He attacked the kingdom of Hiranyakashipu and immediately kidnapped his wife Kayadu. And he wanted to kill Kayadu and the child also inside. Actually, in Vedic tradition, a woman is never abused or beaten. And in fact, never killed. Right? So when Indra actually decided, he found out that his wife is pregnant also. Now he was thinking, how should I kill the child and how should I kill the mother? He was actually thinking, because he knew that Hiranyakashipu is so powerful, so his son is going to be even more powerful. So at that time, Narad Muni knows the plan of God, right? Plan of God is known by his devotees, Mahajans. So Narad Muni came to Indra and he told that, no, Indra, don't kill. I have full information that the person who is going to take birth from the womb of Kayadu is not an ordinary person. He is going to be a great devotee. And he is going to do the needful. Supreme Lord is going to do what is needed through that child. Right? So after that, Narad Muni took Kayadu to his ashram. Narad Muni took him to Kayadu to his ashram, and Narad Muni started speaking every day good leelas, nice pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Ram Leela, Krishna Leela, all the Leelas. In fact, he was speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to Kayadu. But Kayadu was not that very, concentrated devotee or anything. She used to sleep. Whenever he is speaking, she is sleeping. But the child inside the womb is hearing. Now, this is another amazing thing that even now in our culture, though this Leela happened thousands of years ago, even now in our culture, when a woman is pregnant in the house, she is made to hear Harikatha or Hari Bhajans, isn't it? Have you seen that? Yeah. And there is also a culture where the woman is not allowed to work. The woman is given full comfort, and she is also, kept very happy. Because the child also gets affected according to how the woman's, situation is. So this is all coming from the old Leela. So, here Prahlad was sitting inside the womb, and, he was already there in the womb, and Kayadu is sleeping, mother is sleeping, and Narad Muni is telling the Leela, and Narad Muni is so engrossed in the Leela. He started telling about, the Kardam Muni, the all the different Leelas of Bhagavatam. He's going on and on and on. And suddenly at one point, Narad Muni says, "So Supreme Lord is so beautiful." And from the womb came a sound. Mm-hmm. So immediately Narad Muni started looking here and there. Who told that? Mm-hmm. Because he thought he's telling it to Kayadu. And then again it told, the Supreme Lord is so beautiful and Supreme Lord comes to save all his devotees. Mm-hmm. Immediately he saw inside. Right? Then he understood the devotee is hearing from inside the womb. Right? Actually, Prabhupada and Matajis, you have to understand this that the most actually Vedic scriptures explain that 70 Taittiriya Upanishad actually explains that 75+% education of a child happens inside the womb. Right? Such a great science. 75% what the child's consciousness is going to be after he comes out of the body happens inside the womb. If the mother is too busy working in Infosys and Wipro, what will happen to the child who is going to come out? Right? He'll come out immediately as for iPad. See, I'm telling you, it's a very big science in itself. Whatever the consciousness the mother carries, the child also is going to come in the same consciousness. The mother is always hungry, ordering from Swiggy, Zomato. What will happen to the child? As soon as he comes out, he'll not tell. He'll tell Swiggy. So you have to understand that consciousness is very, very important. Now to correct that consciousness is very difficult. After the child has taken birth, you only have 25% chance to correct his consciousness. 75% is already done inside the womb. Right? So here, Narad Muni is educating Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad about then Prahlad actually took birth. After the time happened, the Prahlad took birth in Narad Muni's ashram, and for around 5 years he was with Narad Muni, hearing the Leelas of the Supreme Lord. And by that time, 10,000 years of tapasya got over of Hiranyakashipu. And as soon as he said he's going to come back to his kingdom, Narad Muni told, okay, Kayadu, it's time for you to go back to the kingdom of your husband. Is anybody getting a logical question here? What is the question? His tapasya was 10,000 years old. I know, this is the problem. We have studied in all CBSE, ICSE. Immediately you'll have to find these points. But there is an answer for this. Even now, scientifically, it is proven answer that as you come out of the planet and you travel away from Earth, the dimension of time changes. Right? It's not a Hollywood movie I'm talking about. That when you actually travel away from the planet, more and more away you go, you age less as compared to here. In the same way, there are 14 planetary systems, and one day of Brahma is equal to 4.3 billion years on this planet. One day of Brahma. And when you go to the planets of Indra, the Swargalokas, it is almost like 14 million years. Right? So when Narad Muni took Prahlad to his ashram, it was not on this planet. He went to next level planet. There, 5 years is equal to 10,000 years on this planet. Now it's answered? Okay, done. So the point is, then Prahlad, when he came back, now Prahlad already became a devotee. He is already a devotee. He is a distant devotee, and he is now trained under Narad Muni. Now, Narad Muni is not an ordinary university. It's much, much higher than ISB or IIM or topmost university. Because Narad Muni is like the son of Brahma, right? And he trained so many other devotees. Can you name some other devotees he has trained? Vyasdev. Vyasdev is the disciple of Narad Muni, isn't it? So now Prahlad, little Prahlad, 5-year-old cute boy, Prahlad, it is filled with Krishna inside. And as soon as he came back to his father, right? His father is like, so how are you, Prahlad? How do you feel? I've come back, let us give a hug. And then he started speaking. I'm going a little up and down in the Leela. Don't worry, I'm not going a sequence. But at one point, Prahlad told his father that, Father, after taking human birth, we should meditate on the lotus feet of Vishnu. And we should, fix our consciousness on the lotus feet of Vishnu, and we should dedicate our life all the organs in our body should all pray towards Vishnu. And immediately Hiranyakashipu is thinking, there is a bada yogi hai kya tu? You're a 5-year-old yogi, 5-year-old boy who has not even seen. Look at me. Look this side. Look at his yogi posture. Right? Are you teaching me what is yoga? Right? I have done better yoga. I have done the greatest form of Ashtanga yoga. So the arguments between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, you should understand that the context is very different. Here is a great yogi. We have never heard Hiranyakashipu as a yogi, but he is a great yogi. And he had so many mystic powers also. Right? So when he met Prahlad, it is not an ordinary person meeting Prahlad. And when Prahlad is giving suggestion, right? See, normally when we give people suggestion, if you're giving it to ordinary person, that's different. But when you're going and giving suggestion to Nirmala Sitharaman, you have to have some knowledge of commerce. You can't just go and speak like that. What will she think if you're going and talking to her? Isn't it? Similarly, when Hiranyakashipu was looking at Prahlad, he was thinking, who is this small 5-year-old boy coming and telling me such a big thing about yoga, meditation, surrender to Lord? He was not valuing that discussion also. Anyway, now coming back, the tapasya got over and Brahma appeared. And we all know what happened after Brahma appeared, right? So Brahma was like, now this person is going to ask something that I'll be forced to give. Because naturally intentions are very clear. He has not come here to ask something good. So let us compare for some time what Hiranyakashipu would ask and what today's IIT, IIM, CA will ask. Right? Let us see who is more intelligent. If somebody thinks I am more intelligent than Hiranyakashipu, let us see what today's people will ask. Right? So when Brahma came in front of Hiranyakashipu, what did he ask? Anybody? Immortality. He didn't ask for anything temporary. He did not ask for anything temporary. He asked for much more intelligent choice than we all normally ask. At least I will never ask immortality. I'll ask fix my tap in my bathroom. Right? Or fix my job, or fix my boss, or fix my car, or let me clear my home loan. Something like this I'll ask, right? But Hiranyakashipu was not an ordinary person. He knew the actual problems of life. He already told Bhagavad Gita to his mother. So what are the main 4 problems of life? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age, disease. These are the 4 main problems. So Hiranyakashipu understood that I am not going to ask anything chota mota. I am going to ask the most important thing. He said, I want to ask that I am not going to take birth again, but for that I should not die. Right? Because if you die, you have to take birth again. He said, I am not going to die. Give me that particular boon. So he told, I don't want to die. As soon as he asked that, Brahma became like, I am going to die. Brahma is like, Bhaiya, I am going to die. I have an age. Right now I am maybe 32 years old. And I have a time frame also. 311 trillion years and certain billion years is the time frame of Brahma. After that, Brahma also has to die, and new Brahma will come, and he also will have a time frame, right? So he's thinking that how can I give this kind of boon? So he told Hiranyakashipu, "Dekho, mere power mein nahi hai. I can't make you the Prime Minister of India because I live in a flat in my home Krishi. Person who has to make you something like that is somebody different. I can't give you the boon." Then Hiranyakashipu was very stubborn. No. You have to give me this boon. I'm not going to go less. He said, see, whatever is in my jurisdiction, I'll give. So you can go ahead and ask whatever you want to ask. So obviously, the first ever international insurance policy was devised at that time. Right? The best insurance policy ever, which was, he prayed that he should not be killed by any living entity, not be killed by any place, covered or uncovered. It should not be covered or uncovered. Not to die in the daytime or at the night, not to be killed by any weapon or on the land or in the air, and not to be killed by any human being, animal, demigod, or any other entity, living or non-living. He further prayed supremacy over the entire universe and requested the 8 yogic perfections such as Anima and Lagima. He asked for everything. Comprehensive insurance policy, he asked. Right? And then Brahma is looking. Okay, ho gaya? Enough. Right? But Brahma was not tensed. You should understand that Brahma was not tensed. That I gave such an insurance policy, will he become immortal? No. Brahma knew. Nobody can become immortal. So there, when Brahma gave this whole policy, then again he said, okay, one more thing. one more condition. I should not be killed in January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Ab kaise marega? Just think about it. The guy, he has also told that I should not be killed in any month. No Kartika Mas, no Dhanur Mas, nothing. Right? And then how the Supreme Lord killed him? He created a new Mas called Adhik Mas. You can't cheat God. You want to, you can cheat anybody. You can't cheat God because God is the greatest cheater. When he wants to catch somebody, he'll catch in any corner. So he created Adhik Mas. And no wonder all the festival dates till now, because of Hiranyakashipu, keeps changing. Deepavali once comes in November, once comes in December. One comes in October. Because of Hiranyakashipu mistake. Because what he does, every single month, he creates one more day. He extended by one more day. And all this day together, at the end of 4 years, they form a special month. And that month is called Adhika Mas, meaning additional month. Adhik means additional. So all the festival days keep changing. So Brahma gave that boon. But now let us come back to 22nd century, 15th May 2022. What will we ask? We are not going to ask any of like this, right? So dash car. Anybody? Any suggestions? Ferrari? BMW लगा लेते हैं, ठीक है. और क्या? Flat in my home. So my home. But are we happy with that? No. Flat in Aparna. Are we happy with that? We are never happy. So let's go to the next item. On-site to Switzerland, is it? New trend. On-site to. Okay, next. Villa in. Some people are embarrassed now. I always keep the example. Villa in Tellapur. I know a devotee, Banu Prabhu is there. He actually bought a villa in Tellapur. Prabhuji keep telling Tellapur, I don't know why, but I bought in Tellapur. It's okay, Prabhu, that's just an example. Right? But anyway, villa in Tellapur. Next, spouse working in? Huh? Infosys? Microsoft? Okay, Microsoft. Mobile brand? Apple. You will ask Brahma. Just imagine, that is the situation. If suddenly Brahma comes, we don't know what to ask also. So we need training of what to ask God when God appears. Anyway, now one of the fundamental questions that comes out is if Brahma knew that what Hiranyakashipu is going to ask is not going to be good. He knew that what Hiranyakashipu is going to ask is not going to. Why did he even give the boon? Right? Simple fundamental thing, right? He knew that whatever he's going to take, he's going to create a trouble. Right? So there are 4 reasons why Brahma gave that boon. Number 1, he was bound by his role. See, Devatas, there is Bhagavan and there is Devatas. Right? There are demigods, there is God, Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord will never give anything that is not good for you. He'll never give. But the Devatas are forced to give. Forced to give. See, in a company, there is different departments, sales, marketing, HR, right? Finance, or whatever other, delivery, operations, networking, different departments are there. Ideally, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to do your work properly and automatically your appraisal should happen properly. Is that right? That is the company's law. But what will you do if your colleague who is sitting beside you, he keeps on going and taking one day fruity to HR, right? One day, what other juice? I don't know. Maza, one day Maza to, one other HR person, like this. Would you like such a person? Would you like it? इतना मजा पिला दिया कि HR का appraisal आते मजा आ गया, है कि नहीं? So the point, you never like such person. So even Supreme Lord doesn't like you going and praying to Devatas specifically for certain boons, right? You should pray the Supreme Lord. You should pray the Devatas, like pay pranam every day morning. Every day morning you should pay pranam to Surya Dev. How many of you do that here? As soon as you open the window, thank you. Because if he doesn't appear, we are finished. And I should pay pranam to Varunadev. Now we all have to pray. Rains have to come. If rains don't come, apna hal kya hoga? Tanker, no tanker, no pani. So we are all dependent on Devatas. So Vedic scriptures explain we should pray them and thank them, but don't ask from them. Don't ask more than your quota. You have a quota, you will get your quota. According to your situation, the quota will come. So here Brahma is being forced upon to give something more. And the force is so much that he felt that by my role, if this thing is done, I have to give. So that is one of the reasons why he gave. Next, he understood that this is a business transaction. Right? He understood that this is a business transaction. Meaning, you should not go to God with a transaction saying that, okay, I am doing this, you give me this. I'm going to give you 10 rupees, you have to give me 100 rupees profit. Right? Or I'm coming to you, please get me married. I'm coming to you, please get me a promotion. This is not a mode to go to God. Actually, we should never go to God for a transaction. Right? But unfortunately today, many people only go to God for a transaction. That's a different thing. But the point is, Brahma understood that this is a business transaction. So I can give. He has done his tapasya and I have to give back certain money or whatever that is going to ask. Right? Third reason, Brahma understood that finally what I am giving is what? Eternal or temporary? All the boon that Brahma gave is temporary only. Isn't it? It's all temporary. Everything, the whole insurance policy here is a temporary policy. There is still a way Supreme Lord knows how to make it happen. And Brahma, being a great devotee himself, he also understood that this boon is going to make the divine appear. The Supreme Lord is going to appear because of my boon. So he understood again that there is behind everything there are three reasons. What are the three reasons? Your free will, God's will, and evil. So he understood that there is God's will behind this evil. So I'll use my free will, right, to give that particular boon. So he gave it. Okay. So Hiranyakashipu got that boon and he became very, very powerful. Now Hiranyakashipu was not an ordinary powerful king. He was so powerful that just by raising one eyebrow. Did anybody else try to raise? I can see Mataji just raised. Right? Just by raising one eyebrow. And this is a verse. Actually, there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says that Hiranyakashipu would sit like this. He would just raise one eyebrow and that side of the Devatas, sir, what wrong did we do? Everything all right. Like it was so shivering. Everybody was so scared of Hiranyakashipu because he had such a kind of boon that nobody can kill him. He can do anything he wants. He can do practically anything he wants. So as a king, he was the strongest in the 14 planetary systems, and Devata shivered by the rise of his eyebrow, only worship him and no one else. So he created his own mantras also. He created his Brahmanas also. He told all the Brahmanas, worship me. Right? Namo Hiranyakashipaya Namaha. Don't repeat that. But that time it was forced repetition. You know, Brahmanas would come and they were used to chant the mantra saying that, repeat, Namo Brahman, Hiranyakashipaya Namaha, like that. Deep inside they were so hurt that, they should not be worshipping a normal human as God. But this person was forcing them. This person was forcing them to worship him. And naturally, you can also see the tendency even today. There are some Hiranyakashipus today also who claim that they are God. I don't want you to name them who they are here, but you can see even today in 22nd century, 2022, not 22nd century, but there are still people who claim that they are God. Or they'll say that I'll become God one day. Right? And their disciples will call them as Bhagavan. Right? The word Bhagavan should not be used for anybody else except Narayan. It cannot be used for anybody else. Bhagavan, Narayan. Or his avatars, you can. Or the great devotees are sometimes also referred as Bhagavan. But not ordinary people. Right? So here, he told that only he has to be worshipped. So there is a pastime that, one Brahmana, he was desperate to worship Narayan, understood that he can't worship Narayan. Because if he worships Narayan, he is going to be killed. No, it's not an ordinary Hiranyakashipu, like really powerful. He ordered anybody who worships anybody else except me has to be killed right there, even if it's a Brahmana. So the Brahmana felt, I should go and sit in a corner and somewhere in the corner and I should worship Narayan without chanting a mantra. So he's sitting and meditating on Narayan. Then he finally meditated and then he found that, okay, my puja is over. Now I have to offer some bhoga. No, he can't make any bhoga for Narayana also. Right? He can't make any bhoga for Narayana. So then he was thinking, what should I do? Then in the mind itself, he started making the bhoga. Right? Like this much rice, this much sugar, this much milk, this much cream, and here is the katori, and that I'm boiling it, and the khichdi is happening, kheer is happening, and the kheer is now ready, and the kheer can be offered. Oh, kheer, is it too hot now? Let me check. He kept his finger. It got burnt. In his meditation itself, right? So such was the case of the Brahmanas. During the Hiranyakashipu's time, they did not even offer anything to the Supreme Lord. But now you can ask, if the Supreme Lord is not being worshipped, how come the climate was good? Because climate is all dependent on the happiness of the Supreme Lord. How come the Devatas were still giving rain? How come Indra was giving rain? One eyebrow, rain. One eyebrow, crop. Everything was happening just by a rise of eyebrow. So that is how Devatas were giving. But in today's day and time, why are we facing so many droughts, so many problems? Because nobody is worshipping the Supreme Lord. That is the problem. When we worship the Supreme Lord, all Devatas will be automatically happy. He declared himself as the only worshipable person, and offenders not following his rule were prosecuted. But deep inside the heart, now this is the external aspect of Hiranyakashipu. Deep inside his heart, he was always searching for Vishnu. Where is Vishnu? Right? Where can I kill him? Where can I find him? Where can I conquer him? Where can I, bind him? Because he killed his brother, right? Hiranyaksha. So that was his main target. And deep inside his heart, he could not find peace. Hiranyakashipu was not happy. You see, brothers and Matajis, until we come to a satsang, until we come to devotees, you are not going to find a real happiness in life. Though we'll go to multiplexes, we'll go to theaters, we'll go to Switzerland. You went, right? Yeah. So still he came back and he came to satsang only. And today is his birthday. Hari bol. So the point is, wherever we go, ultimately we come to satsang because we find happiness in between devotees and good people, good human beings, right? We're not going to find happiness in things. We're going to find happiness in people, right? Like the great saying goes, in ancient society, people used to love people and use things. And in modern society, we use people, love things. No wonder we are suffering. Again, so we have to find good people and we should associate with them. So Hiranyakashipu was not able to find anybody good to associate with. Because who will associate if you say that you are God? Right? If you go outside and say, I am God, who is going to be my friend? You'll find any friend? No friend. That was Hiranyakashipu's situation. Because right there at the top, he became alone. He became alone. There was nobody to actually associate with him. And he was very, very attached to Prahalad. Very, very attached to Prahalad. Hiranyakashipu had many sons. He had many wives also. But Prahalad was a very special child. Because how much respectful Prahalad was for his father, how much humble was, Prahalad. In all the great qualities Prahalad had. Though he was a 5-year-old son, he was very, very attractive. Like Hiranyakashipu would not think of losing Prahalad, of not meeting Prahalad every single day. Right? He was so attached. No wonder, because Prahalad was a devotee. And because he was a devotee, he had the beautiful effulgence, externally also, internally also. Right? Are you all following so far? Okay. So this was the situation of Prahalad. Now Prahalad, he was sent to a university. What were his teachers' names? Anybody remembers? Huh? Shanda and Amarka. Right? Now Shanda and Amarka were very, very talented teachers. They would teach everything except Krishna consciousness or God consciousness. In the school, the syllabus was very clear. Only science, math, social, English, Hindi. What else? Telugu. Huh? Library. Right? So in those days, the only school was Shanda and Amarka school. In Hiranyakashipu's kingdom. Right? So they went there. Now here we find a lot of Shanda and Amarka schools around. They don't teach any God consciousness. They don't teach Ramayana, Mahabharata. Any good lila anywhere you will not find. You'll find all Shanda and Amarkas in the schools, right? Teachers. Once I was called to this Oak Ridge school. to give a talk, right? And they asked me that, you should speak about values to the children. I said, okay, I'll speak values to the children. So I went there, and it was for the 12th grade children. So I went there, I was sitting there, I was standing there. Now, the teacher of the class was sitting behind, class teacher, and all the students said there were around like 30 odd. And naturally, I was going on explaining, you should respect your parents, you should have humility, you should not have this, not have that. In between, I told something that I should not have told. What did I tell? You should not have bad habits. I told him. Khatam. As soon as I told you should not have bad habits, the teacher became uncomfortable, not the students. Students were very ready to, yes sir, what are the bad habits? I said, no smoking, no alcohol, no this, no. Immediately, the teacher became uncomfortable. And as soon as teacher became uncomfortable, I became more comfortable. I'm not going to leave this chance. I started next. When you become big, you all will get educated. When you become big, never work in a night shift call center. I told. Your teacher could not tolerate anymore. She came, sir, why are you telling all these things? You should only tell about values. I said, am I telling anything wrong? If people work in the night time, what will happen to their health? As a teacher, don't you think you should also tell them that if you should not sleep in the daytime, you should work in the daytime, you should sleep in the night time? No. Sir, I think your time is over, you can go. Okay, thank you very much. But anyways, after that, I never took darshan of Oak Ridge anymore. I don't think they will ask me also. But anyway, the point is, people don't want to hear what is good for them, as mentioned in the scriptures. They don't want to. And today, teachers also don't want to teach that. And so were Sanda and Amagga. Both the teachers also never taught anything related to God consciousness. And naturally, all the Daityas were very, very happy. Who was the father of Shanda and Amarga? Shukracharya, the priest of the demons. Right? So they were very proudly teaching whatever syllabus they had. But Prahlad was a child who already had all the education done, completed. He was already a PhD in Krishna consciousness. Right? So you can try to repeat this verse after me. Shri Prahlad Vacha. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Smaranam Pada Sevanam. Archanam Vandanam Dasyam. Sakyam Atmanivedanam. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, 23rd verse. This was the essence of what Prahlad taught to the students in the school. Forget about he learning from his teachers, Sanda and Amarka. He actually started teaching the students, right, what they are not teaching. Can you see this building here? What happened? Yeah. Okay. Can somebody help them do it quickly, if you don't mind? Let's go that side. Okay, enough. Very good. Yeah. Can you see this building here, everybody, in the picture? It's actually Prahlad's school. And you know where it is? Ahobilam. Even now you can visit that place in Ahobilam, where there is a Narasimhas, and there is a place where Prahlad's school is there. You should go there. It's a beautiful place in between the woods, in between the jungle, actually. If you go to Ahobilam, yeah, Hare Krishna, settle down. Yeah, thank you. Too much noise, Professor. Yeah. So the point is, so Prahlad started teaching his friends. He started teaching the syllabus that was not there, right? And when Prahlad came back to the house, every day Hiranyakashipu would meet his son. My dear Prahlad, what did you learn? Right? So Prahlad would immediately start answering. Now here, please focus as I read the text. Some of the text I thought today is a very auspicious day. We should read from Bhagavatam. So in text 34, indignant and angry. Who is this? Hiranyakashipu. His reddish eyes like molten copper. Hiranyakashipu said to servants, "Oh demons, take this boy away from me. He deserves to be killed. Kill him as soon as possible." Because as soon as he heard the glories of Narayan from Prahlad, he could not tolerate. Right? See, what is the problem here? Hiranyakashipu's enemy is Narayan. And his favorite son is chanting the glories of Narayan. Can you all tolerate? Anybody here? Can't tolerate. I mean, like, my enemy is being glorified. My enemy is being glorified. So he's like, immediately kill this person. Text 35. This boy Prahlad is a killer of my brother. This boy Prahlad is a killer of my brother, for he has given up his family to engage in devotional service of my enemy, Lord Vishnu. Like a menial servant, he has become. Although Prahlad is only 5 years old, even at this young age, he has given up the affectionate relationship with his father and mother. Therefore, he is certainly untrustworthy. Indeed, it is not at all believable that he will behave well towards Vishnu. Text 37. Although a medicinal herb being born in the forest does not belong to the same category as a man, if beneficial, it is kept very carefully. Similarly, if someone outside one's family is favorable, he should be given protection like a son. On the other hand, if a limb of one's own body is poisoned by disease, it must be amputated so that the rest of the body may live happily. Similarly, even if one's own son is, if unfavorable, must be rejected, although born in one's own body. Right? He's like, he's saying, if your arm is infected by septic, क्या करोगे? रखोगे क्या? मेरा अच्छा हाथ है, बहुत अच्छा लगता है. नहीं, you have to immediately get it amputated because it's useless now. And Hiranyakashipu is saying, he is my son who is useless to me now. He has to be amputated. He has to be removed. There is no question of keeping him. Right? Similar advice of killing one's son was given, but he did not follow in the history. Who is that? Dhritarashtra. When Duryodhana took birth, everybody came and told him, ampute this part of yours. But he did not follow. But here is exactly reverse. Prahlad was such a nice child, not like Duryodhana, but he is being asked to be amputated. Right? 1 second. Yeah. Just as uncontrolled senses are the enemies of all yogis engaged in advancing in spiritual life, this Prahlad, who appears to be a friend, is an enemy because I cannot control him. Therefore, this enemy, whether eating, sitting, or sleeping, must be killed by all means. Look at the dialogue. Right? He is actually speaking very advanced spiritual knowledge. He's saying that just like uncontrolled senses are a problem for a yogi, he knows. But unfortunately, he might have controlled his 5 senses, but he could not control his mind. Right? What are the 5 senses we have? Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin, touch. Right? He controlled all the 5. Actually, Hiranyakashipu controlled all the 5. Without that control, how he could have pleased Brahma? He controlled all the 5 senses, but he could not control the mind. And because he could not control the mind, his intelligence never functioned. Right? So it's very, very important. I mean, he's telling indirectly that control of senses is good. But what is the example he's taking it for? He's saying, if I cannot control the sun is useless for me. Sun is useless for me. Right? Actually, there is, in scriptures, there is always one way of looking at a verse, but there is another way of looking at a verse also. Is that parents should make sure that children are properly groomed and brought up, and they are under the control of sadhus. Right? Proper knowledge. Right? Otherwise, they can be a problem to the society. Right? There is another way of looking at it also. But here, he is saying Prahlad is a problem. Right? Now, let us go further. How many ways in which Prahlad was attempted to be killed? He was put into fire. He was thrown from a big hill. He was pierced by big, knives. He was put under an elephant. He was even stinged by poisonous snakes. And he was actually, there are scriptures explain 18 ways in which Hiranyakashipu tried to kill him. 18 ways. Can you imagine how angry? I mean, and think about it. A father of how old son? 5-year-old son. You can't even imagine killing a 5-year-old son. But just imagine the anger he had. He could not control. He wanted to kill a 5-year-old son also. In 18 different ways. And not a son who was arrogant. A son who was very, very pleasing. Just imagine Prahlad come. Namaste, Papa. Isko maar do. पापा मैं तुम्हारा दास हूं, इसको मार दो. Just imagine contrast, right? How bad you have to be to kill somebody like Prahlad. How bad you have to be. Even if you're a bad person, but if your son is so pleasing, you can't kill him. But Hiranyakashipu was so much angry, he tried to kill him in so many ways. And this throwing of a mountain episode, actually it so happened that Prahlad was thrown from a mountain, and when he was falling down, Prahlad was only remembering the Lord. One of the greatest qualities of Prahlad was, his instruction of his guru was, always remember Krishna. He would always remember Krishna. As soon as thrown, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He's just remembering. And he's falling on the floor, but he's remembering. Right? Supreme Lord became so much anxious this time when he was thrown from the mountain. Narayan came and caught him. He literally caught him. And when the mountain was falling on him, he stopped the mountain like that. And this is again pastime. Narayan is holding him, and the mountain is stopped. And Narayan and little Prahlad, 5-year-old Prahlad, he opened his eyes and he looked. Narayan is beside him. Narayan, you have come to catch me? He said, yes, kya karu? You are taking so much risk. I can't see you going through so much. Actually, I'm not supposed to appear now, but I can't take it. I can't wait for it. So I have to appear. I have to catch you. And immediately he threw that mountain back. And that mountain went and flew and fell at a place which is now known as Simhachala. That is the place where the mountain fell. Right? And as soon as Prahlad looked at Narayan, he said, Narayan, I have achieved my goal of life. I have seen you. I have taken your darshan. Now I will come with you. Narayan said, no. Abhi climax baki hai. Right? You have to go. Right? And but remember that I am always there with you. And he told that 5-year-old child, he said, whenever you call me, Prahlad, I am going to come. I'll be there. But Prahlad was like, children become stubborn. And no, like that Prahlad also did. He said, no. I have to keep you. I have to be with you. He said, no, wait. Then Prahlad told, okay, you fulfill one wish of mine. Then Supreme Lord said, okay, what wish you have? He said, I want to see you in a form in which you killed my uncle. He said, okay, so you will see me in a form in which I killed your uncle. And that is why in Simhachalam, what is the deity that is worshipped? Varaha Narasimha. And that is the form in which Prahlad used to worship. After the whole Narsingh Leela, Prahlad would go there and worship Varaha Narasimha. And Varaha Narasimha, just imagine, Narasimha came with so much anger. Varahadev also came with anger and he lifted. Now anger plus anger is equal to danger. Anger is one less word from danger. A-N-G-E-R, add T to it. Danger. So immediately Prahlad, Supreme Lord said, you asked me to appear in a way that if you keep me in that way, the whole planet will be burnt. You can't keep me like that. Then Prahlad told, don't worry, I will nicely keep Chandan on you. I'll keep putting Chandan every day. So Chandan keeps you cold. So even now in Simhachalam, when you all visit, you will never see the Murti. How many here have gone to Simhachalam? Lift your hand. Have you seen Narasimhadev or Varahadev? You will not see. You will see a ball made of Chandan. And they keep putting Chandan every day. Every day. 365 days they'll put Chandan. And on one day, they remove all the Chandan. And today is Akshaya Tritiya. That is the only day you get darshan of Varaha Narasimhadev. Until that day, the entire thing is covered with Chandan. Right? So he's so angry, so he wants to keep Chandan, more and more Chandan. So anyway, there are so many pastimes of Supreme Lord like that. So Prahlad was tried to be killed in so many ways. He was tried to be killed. Finally, the day came when he understood that Prahlad is not going to be killed. Right? And one of the last pastimes of the final attempt to kill him was through fire. When Hiranyakashipu actually became very upset that how come this 5-year-old boy is not being killed? And then his sister came. Hiranyakashipu's sister came. Her name is Holika. She came and she told, brother, don't worry. I'll kill your son today. Don't worry. And Holika had a mystic power of burning. But she would not get affected by that fire. So she kept, and that day, the whole kingdom became so sad. Everybody were crying that, today maybe Prahlad will be killed. Because Holika is a very, very mystic demoness. So she said, I am going to kill Prahlad today. The entire kingdom was crying. And she took Prahlad, made him sit on the lap. And she said, okay, now I am going to just imagine, her niece, 5-year-old niece, but she had no feeling for him. She just made him sit there and instigated the fire to come. And the fire started coming. But this time, instead of killing Prahalad, the fire killed Holika itself. And the whole kingdom became so happy that Holika is gone. And that is the reason the next day morning they celebrated Holi. And that is the reason one day before Holi we keep fire. Right? Because the fire actually represents Holika, which did not kill Prahlad. Right? So here, even after that attempt, when finally Hiranyakashipu became clueless, how can I kill this son of mine? He finally had the dialogue. This is there, in the chapter. I wish somebody had a mic to repeat, but I'll repeat it. There is a little text. Please hear me out. And today is a very auspicious day, just before Narsimha appears. So please hear it attentively. Text 5. Hiranyakashipu said, "O most impudent, most unintelligent disruptor of the family, O loudest of mankind, O lowest of mankind, you have violated my power to rule you, and therefore you are an obstinate fool. Today I shall send you to the place of Yamaraj." Right? Hiranyakashipu told Prahlad, "My son Prahlad, you rascal, you know that when I am angry, all the planets of the 3 worlds tremble, along with their chief rulers. But by whose power has a rascal like you become so impudent that you appear fearless and overstep my power to rule you?" He's saying, whose power do you think you have? How do you feel that, I'm not able to conquer you? Whose power? For that, immediately Prahlad Maharaj will give a nice answer. Prahlad Maharaj is like the beautiful child who would never hesitate to tell a good thing. Prahlad Maharaj, what did he tell? Please hear this answer. He said, "My dear king, the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of yours. Indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one." Why is he saying that? Who gave strength to Hiranyakashipu? Brahma. Who gave strength to Brahma? Narayana. That's what he told. The person who has given strength, look at the amount of anger he is giving to Hiranyakashipu. He's not only telling the one who gave strength to me is the one who gave strength to you, but he's telling not only the one who gave strength to you, but even to the one who gave strength to you, that Supreme Lord is the one who gave strength to me. And Hiranyakashipu is like, "Bahut ho gaya. I can't take this anymore." Right? He is not only your strength or mine, but the only strength of everyone. Everyone. Right? Without him, no one can get any strength, whether moving or not moving, superior or inferior. Everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Hiranyakashipu, the Supreme Person, now he is continuing, Prahlad is continuing. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the supreme control of the time factor, is the power of the senses, the power of the mind, the power of the body, and the vital force of the senses. His influence is unlimited. He is the best of all beings, living entities, the controller of the 3 modes of material nature. He, by his own power, he creates his cosmic manifestation, maintains it, and annihilates it. Just imagine a 5-year-old boy speaking this knowledge. Can't imagine, right? 5 saal ka bacha, is speaking knowledge that can't be explained by so many great sages. He's simply saying the Supreme Lord is great because he controls everything. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Aham sarvasva prabho matta sarvam pravartate iti matta bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita." So beautifully explains. And everything Saransh, Prahlad is saying that he is the control of everything. Prahlad Maharaj continued, "My dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised towards everyone, except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind. There is no enemy within this world. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one can then come to the position of worshipping the Lord perfectly." Now, just imagine the instruction that Prahlad is giving to Hiranyakashipu. Right? Hiranyakashipu is a very intelligent person. And Prahlad is telling, "Don't distinguish between enemy and friend. Don't try to control your senses. Try to engage them in the service of God. Now, who is Hiranyakashipu here? The one who controlled his senses for 10,000 years. He could call Brahma and is getting a lesson from 5-year-old. How old are you? 6. Come here. I want you all to imagine, because me speaking is not enough. Prahlad was 1 year younger than him. Sit here. So when I am speaking, just imagine him speaking. Okay? In the former times, there were many fools like you. Now he is telling, I am not telling. To his father. In the former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all the enemies in the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies and is equipoised towards all living entities, for him, there is no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. I mean, like he's telling that the real enemy is sitting inside, not outside. Our uncontrolled mind is the enemy. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Now Hiranyakashipu said. Now imagine me as Hiranyakashipu, yes, Prahlad. That's easy to imagine. Okay. Hiranyakashipu said, you rascal, you are trying to minimize my value? You say, you're trying to minimize my value? As if you are better than me in controlling the senses? This is over-intelligent. I can therefore understand that you desire to die in my hands. For this kind of nonsensical talk is indulged by those about to die. He's saying only the person who is going to die will speak these kind of things. Oh, most unfortunate Prahlad, you have always described a supreme being other than me. A supreme being who is above everything, who is the control of everybody and who is all pervading. But where is he? Where is he? If he is everywhere, then why is not present before me in this pillar? Right? Can you tell once? Are you there in the pillar?
Yes.
You are not there in the pillar. Okay, better. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Haribol. Just imagine Prahlad was like this, little boy, right? Speaking to his father, and his father is so angry, saying, you are telling that he is everywhere? He is control of everything? Is he there in this pillar? Now, why did he choose pillar? Why did Hiranyakashipu choose pillar? Why not a wall? Why not? I don't know.
He has built it.
Huh?
He has built it personally, so that he knows.
He has built it personally, he knows. But pillar represents the strongest part of the foundation. Strongest part of the foundation. Right? And pillar also represents pride. You're very proud. You think that I am holding everything. Right? Everybody in the house, every husband thinks that is Narayan until his wife comes. So I think I am the most strongest in the house. So anyway, point is, he thinks that he's the strongest. So pillar represents a pride. And because he wanted to attack the strongest thing in the house, he said, is he there in this pillar? Is he there in this pillar? Right? Text 13. Please focus. He's saying now, because you are asking, because you are speaking of so much nonsense, I shall now sever your head from your own body. Now let me see your most worshipable God come to protect you. I want to see him. I want to see it. Right? He's like desperate because now he knows that I am trying to find Vishnu for the last 5 years. I could not find. Now I have to find him. Right? Now finally, being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakashipu, who was very great in bodily strength, thus chastised his exalted devotee son Prahlad with harsh words, cursing him again and again. Hiranyakashipu took up the sword, got up from his royal throne with a great anger and struck his fist against the column. Right? He immediately, like fisted on that particular column, the pillar. And even now that pillar is there in Ahobilam. And that particular pillar deity is called what? Ugra Stamba. How many of you have gone on the Ugra Stamba? Very chosen people. I tried once. It is really steep. If somebody likes hiking, don't go there because that is not hiking. that is beyond hiking, right? Literally, you have to crawl on the mountain, like this. You need to go like almost like Prabhuji is laughing. He's the one who made almost 40 people climb that day, encouraging him. Mataji, you can do it. Prabhuji, you can do it. Mataji, I am struggling. No, Prabhuji. I was yelling the names and he made everyone climb. But it is an amazing experience. Should go. But the amazing part of Ugra Stambha in Ahobilam is nobody got injured till now. Everybody who endeavored has finally reached there and he has taken the darshan and he also come back. Right? Anyway. Huh?
I could not make it back.
Second time I came back. First time we went. Second time I started getting back pain. I lost confidence. Now there is no Narasimha. There is only L4, L5 in my consciousness. So I said, okay, I cannot climb. But first time when I went, there was only Narasimha. I went in the wrong route also. Yeah. So here the dialogue between father and boy, and finally Hiranyakashipu went in and pisted on the wall, on the pillar, and there appeared Narasimhadev. Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki. Right? Now Lord Narasimhadev, when he appeared, it was not an ordinary sound. It's explained that the 14 planetary systems could hear the wall breaking and he coming out, and all the devatas, Lord Shiva, Brahma, everybody, Devi, all goddesses, all gods, everybody came and they were looking at this ferocious avatar. And this is the deity of Lord Ugra Narasimha. This is the deity from Mayapur in West Bengal. The picture, are you able to see the picture? How is he in the picture? He's just about to jump. Right? A lion, when it is going to attack, I don't know how many of you have seen National Geographic Channel. Lion walks, and then it stops. And then the final jump it is going to make. Right? When it is going to jump. And that time when it is going to jump is the most angriest and the most ferocious side of the lion. It is going to catch its prey when it's going to finally jump there and catch it. Right? And this form is called Ugra Narasimha. And when devotees were facing, this happened like, maybe 20 plus years back in Mayapur, they wanted to install Ugra Narasimha deity. And when they said, we are going to install Ugra Narasimha deity, immediately instruction, the talk went out and a lot of Vaishnavas, they told, don't even think of, keeping Ugra Narasimha. There is a whole special way of worship. You can't keep Ugra Narasimha. On this planet, it is not allowed because we don't have Brahmanas of that level to worship. You need a great Brahmins to worship Ugra Narasimha. You can't. But the instruction was coming from the Guru. So finally they went and searched for the person who can make this deity. And actually they went and they found one person in Tamil Nadu. The Brahmin who said finally that I am going to make this deity. And when he made the whole Ugra Narasimha deity, actually he said I will not make. But in the dream, his Guru came and told that these people from International Society of Krishna Consciousness are worthy enough to keep this deity. You go ahead and give this, carve this and give it. And when this deity was made and the deity is ready, there was a small problem. What was the problem? The deity is ready, but the Brahman is not there. He made the deity, it's a true story in Tamil Nadu. The deity was made and the message was sent to Mayapur, West Bengal, that now you can come and take the deity, but it takes 3 days for the person to come. In between, the whole house in which the deity was kept got burnt. The whole house was burnt. And the Brahmins, they were so concerned, when will this person come and when will the worship start? And immediately the Brahmins came, they took the deity to Mayapur, and even now the deity is being worshipped. If you all have to see the most powerful, deity of Narasimhadev in the most angry mood of protecting his devotee, it is Ugra Narasimhadev. You can go to Mayapur even now, and there are two brothers who have worshipped so far. Right? Pankajangiri Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu. The two, they're actually German born. But Prabhupada brought them as disciples here and they told that you can worship. And they were the only people who can worship Narasimhadev at that highest standard. And anybody else who would try to do any other service of Narasimhadev, even now they get into this deity room and they get scared, looking at the ferocious form of Narasimhadev. Literally, we can't. If you go nearby, you'll actually experience. But if you go with devotion, you'll not experience that. You'll only feel more and more happiness. So here in this beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained why Narasimhadev appeared, why God appeared that way. It is explained to prove that statement of his servant Prahlad Maharaj was substantial. Now, God can appear in any way. But just imagine, Narayan is sitting like this in Vaikunta, and suddenly Prahlad told, yes, he is in the pillar. Imagine, immediately he has to leave that place. Chappal pehne ka bhi time nahi hai. He has to literally run and get into the pillar and stand like, okay, now I'm ready. And the pillar is broken and he comes out. Right? So that is called devotion towards a devotee. Supreme Lord will do anything for his devotee, right? So he came in the form of a tiger, in the form of a lion. And most of the things, whatever the comprehensive insurance policy told, were taken care. Is he a human? No. Is he an animal? No. And what time of the day he came? What is the time now? Actually, just past the dusk. So who are fasting, please hold on. My lecture will get over in a few more minutes. We all came. Most of the devotees today are fasting until dusk. So at the time of dusk, he came. Is it daytime?
No.
Is it night time? No. Where did he take him? At the Dahlij, at the Kadapa. We say Kadapa. You know? Threshold. You know, see, English language doesn't have even a word for. You know, anyway, he took to the border, right? And he made him. And is he inside the house? Is he outside the house? No. What month is it? Adhika Mas. And where did he kill him? On the lap. Is he on the ground?
No.
Is he in the air? No. Now he killed with his own nails, right? Is it a weapon? No. So he killed and he tore him apart. Now, Prabhuji and Mataji's Acharyas explain that the scene of killing Hiranyakashipu was so gory, was so unimaginably violent that Devatas became scared looking at Narasimha. I mean, we can't even imagine. You must have watched some Evil Dead or some other movie. I don't know what we have watched. But if you call that as gory, this is like mother of all gories, you know, like literally tearing a person apart. And not only tore him apart, he took the intestines and he put on himself like a garland. And one Acharya I was hearing one Acharya's commentary, he was saying that the intestines blood was still coming out. They are fresh intestines from inside. Totally fresh. Some ad is coming. Whatever. So that intestines are on him. Blood is all over the floor. Right? And it's like his entire body is filled with blood. And just imagine, Prahlad is looking at him in devotion. Like he's so happy. Right? He's seeing the Supreme Lord and all Devatas are trembling. And one among those great people who was trembling was also Lakshmi Devi. Can you imagine Lakshmi Devi is with Narayan all the time, holding his feet and massaging? What happened to my husband today? Ye kaun hai? He cannot be my husband. My husband is never like this. And she also was scared to go to Narayan. Just imagine. Like she got scared that what is this mood of my husband? Because, you know, Hiranyakashipu got so angry that two reasons he was angry. One, all these devatas, Mukkoti devatas, 3.3 crore demigods, none of them protected Prahlad. None of them not only protected Prahlad, they did not even protest. They did not protect, they did not protest. All the time when he was being tortured, even single devata did not come to help him. And imagine one other thing, Prabhuji and Mati, just imagine the situation of Prahlad. Prahlad was doing a very simple activity. He was glorifying the Supreme Lord. That's all. And for that, he was being killed. He was being attempted to be killed. Right? And who told him about the Supreme Lord? Narad Muni. And his own spiritual master is behaving like subservient to Hiranyakashipu. His own guru is standing beside Hiranyakashipu and is appearing as subservient. Though he is not, he is a pure devotee, but he could not even come and help him. So not the guru, not any of the devatas, nobody is there. Just imagine, you are the only person on this planet and there is nobody who agrees with you. Nobody who is trying to save you. Prabhuji and Matajis, at that time on planet Earth, Prahlad was the only one alone. And there was nobody with whom he could discuss or speak or take any help. He was the only one. It's not like, he's being killed and he's trying to take help and please come and help me. Nobody is there. And a 5-year-old boy. 5-year-old boy. Such a difficult situation, isn't it? But there was somebody with him in his heart. That's why in the 9 pros of bhakti, Prahlad is told for remembrance, smaranam. Right? He always remembered the Supreme Lord. We also will be put into situations in life where sometimes there will be nobody to support us, including our own loved ones, including our own family. If you have Supreme Lord in your heart, He will take care of everything. You should learn this from Prahlad. Whenever you sing Narsimha Arati, instead of looking at Supreme Lord's form, look at the lotus feet of Prahlad. Take shelter of lotus feet of Prahlad. That, hey Prahlad, give me the same confidence, devotion, and dependence that you have on the Supreme Lord. So someday I will also try to worship like you worship the Supreme Lord. Always remember the Supreme Lord, right? So here, in the situation when he appeared, Narsimha appeared, everybody was scared except Prahlad. Prahlad was very, very peaceful. And he was looking, and all the Devatas, and Brahma told Prahlad, only you can go and talk to Narsimha. He's so angry. And if he continues to be angry like this, the whole universe will be burnt into ashes. You have to go and stop him. You have called him, so you go and stop him from being angry. Now here, Lord delivered Hiranyakashipu. Lord was not happy with the Devatas. I told you already this. Just imagine, can you see this picture here? It's a beautiful painting done by a devotee of exactly explaining how it was. Hiranyakashipu was not the only one who was killed. As Hiranyakashipu was being killed, lot of brothers of Hiranyakashipu were also attacking. It is explained that there were several hundreds of Rakshasas, very powerful, like Hiranyakashipu were attacking, and Supreme Lord, Narsimha was literally piercing everybody of their limbs. One person's hand was there, one person's leg was here, one person's head was there. It was literally chopping off everybody who were coming, and that is the ferocious form in which he was killing everybody off. And you can see this whole floor, like, my God. And then Prahlad is just walking to the Supreme Lord. In that anger, when he is there, Prahlad is just walking there. Right? Prahlad prayed to the Supreme Lord. The prayers of the Prahlad are so beautiful. Please get a Bhagavatam set, 7th canto, 9th chapter. You should read it. At least once in a while you should read the prayers of Prahlad. So we all know how to pray the Supreme Lord. Right? We also have to learn how to pray. So that prayers are so significant. So here finally, Narsimha hugged Prahlad. This is one of my favorite pictures. I don't know who drew it. So beautiful, right? Like such a ferocious lion like Narahari is holding the little boy Prahlad in his arms. And then he is asking, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, please focus on these 5 translations. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Prahlad, most gentle one, best of the family of the Asuras, all good fortune unto you. I am very pleased with you. It is my pastime to fulfill the desires of all living beings. And therefore, you may ask from me any benediction that you desire to be fulfilled. Now Prahlad is being asked, ask anything you want. Anything you want, you can ask. And what is Prahlad's reply? O my Lord, best of the givers of benediction, if you at all want to bestow a desirable benediction onto me, then pray from your Lordship. Then I pray from your Lordship that within the core of my heart, there should be no material desires. Just imagine the sweetness of Prahlad. He's saying, just remove all material desires from my heart. Actually, even before this verse, I'm already reading 7.9.52. But before there is a big dialogue where Supreme Lord becomes actually a little uncomfortable that he's not asking anything. Prahlad is like, Lord, I did not call you for a transaction. I did not call God to come here for a transaction. Why are you asking me? Why are you behaving with me as if I have called you here for a transaction? Right? I have called you here for devotion. I want to serve you. That is the reason I was calling. But you are telling me I'll give a boon. What is this boon business? I don't want any boon from you. I never asked for a boon. I don't want a boon. I only want your devotion. I only want your service. So there is a big dialogue that happens between God and his devotee. And devotee is saying, I don't want a boon. God is saying, I have to give you a boon. Finally, at one point, Narasimha says, if you don't take a boon, I'll be unhappy. One Acharya explains. And then Prahlad understands, oh, so by me not asking a boon, God will become angry, so I'll ask a boon. See the heart of a devotee. Right? He's asking a boon not because he wants a boon. He's asking a boon because God will become unhappy. So let me ask for a boon. So what is the boon he's asking? Please repeat after me. Within the core of my heart, there be no material desires. Did you all think before you asked? Today is Narasimha Chaturdashi. Think before you repeat it, because he has already heard Tadastu. Tomorrow morning you will go to your car. Chhi, waste car. You will go and open your house. Right? The desire will go away. Right? When you see the Supreme Lord, there is nothing else more attractive in life. There is no material possession that is more attractive for you. Only the Supreme Lord is so beautiful. When you go to Tirupati, most of us in South India go to Tirupati. When you look at Balaji, after looking at Balaji, there should not be any desire in your heart. You should just turn back, and you should. What you should see when you turn back? Darkness. When you turn towards Balaji, effulgent light, and Balaji himself. But when you turn away from Balaji, what you should see? Darkness. But unfortunately, because we don't have devotion, I don't have devotion. When I go to the Supreme Lord, I see Lord Balaji. I turn back and I see Bhimas. What other hotels you have in Woodlands? Right? बाहर निकलते कौन से होटल में जाएंगे कहाँ क्या मिलेगा? This is what is there in my consciousness. So I could never take darshan of Lord only. Darshan of Lord means, Srila Prabhupada explains that after that you should not see anything else. How many want to have such a darshan? Really? Today is Narasimha Chaturdashi. फिर कंप्लेन मत करना, प्रभु जी मैं अंधा हो गया. मैं अंधा नहीं हो गया, जो देखना है वही देखे आप. What you are supposed to see, what the eyes are given for. Amrish Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam says, the eyes are given only to see the Supreme Lord. The hands are given only to serve the Supreme Lord. The legs are given only to go to the holy places. Right? The skin is given to hug the devotees. The voice is given only to chant his glories. The ears are given only to hear his glories. Right? Everything is given only to. I did not say why nose is given. You say smell the prasad. Prasad is also coming. But then all senses are given to serve the Supreme Lord. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchate. Please repeat after me. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchate. Right? Which means the senses have to be engaged in the service of the controller of the senses. Rishikesha means controller of the senses. Rishik means senses. So my senses have to be engaged in the control of the senses. Then I will find happiness. Right? Savai pumsam paro dharmo yatho bhakti rudakshaje ahoitaki aprahihata yatma suprasidati. Happiness, fulfillment. You'll only find when you serve the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, you'll never find that happiness. So here, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I don't have any material desires. I don't want any material desires. Now, Supreme Lord, he is not going to keep quiet there. He has to give something. So he says, the Supreme Person of Godhead said, my dear Prahlad, a devotee like you never desires any kind of material opulences, either in this life or the next. Nonetheless, I order you, please underline this, I order you to enjoy the opulences of the demons in this material world, acting as their king until the end of the duration of time occupied by Manu. Now, how long does a Manu stay? 120 million years. Manu. Right? Big time. Now, so much time, actually 140 if I'm right. I'm sorry about the number, but I have to correct. It is, Manu is the time when Manvantara changes. All Devatas change. All new roles come. Job rotation happens. Right? Until that time, you have to rule. And you have to rule the Daityas. With all sensual pleasures that will be there on the floor, you have to rule as a king, he told. Right? Sorry. That time there was no mobile. Yeah. So when he told that Now Prahlad Maharaj is thinking, oh my God, what are you giving me? I am already born in demon's family, Daitya's family. And my senses are already attracted. My senses are automatically attracted to all these things. Now you're asking me to stay in between the attractions and be the king of it. I'll tell you, many years back, my first Janmashtami in ISKCON temple. I never used to fast. Fasting is out of question. Only feast, right? Khana milte khana. So when I went to the ISKCON temple, they told, today is Janmashtami, you're supposed to fast. I said, Prabhuji, this is too much. I never fasted. I told, okay, what time? 10 o'clock can I have? I said, Prabhuji, not till 10 o'clock in the morning, till 12 o'clock in the night. I said, impossible. I'm not going to fast till 12 o'clock in the night. Then I asked my Siksha Guru. I went and asked Srinivasacharya, Prabhu, tell me some suggestion, what I should do. He told, Prabhuji, do a thing. Easiest way to maintain a fast is be between devotees. Go to a place where all devotees are there doing some services, right? So you can be between them, you'll forget about hunger. So which is the place to find all devotees? Temple. I went to temple, right? In Boston, Commonwealth Avenue, ISKCON temple is there. I went there and I went to the temple president. I told Prabhuji, I never fasted. I am struggling to fast. Give me a service that I'll be totally engaged. Morning till evening. Till night 12 o'clock, I should be engaged. Then look at the temple president. He also planned like Narasimha only. What he told? He said, Prabhuji, there is a service in the kitchen area. You go there. And you know what is that service? See, different batches of devotees are there. Right? One batch from north of Boston, one batch of west of Boston, east of Boston, south of Boston. All. So everybody wants to cook something for Narasimha. Sorry, for Lord Krishna on Janmashtami. Everybody wants to cook something. So they all planned. There were 11 batches. 11 batches. And each batch is getting 2 hours slot. In the 2 hour slot, they all will go into the temple kitchen. They'll prepare nice bhoga for the Supreme Lord. One will make noodles, Manchuria, one will make cakes, one will make pastas, one will make lasagna, one will make, pizzas. Ask for it. Right? One will make this, one will make that. Now, they made that is okay. What was my service? You can't imagine more cruel mentality than the temple president. You know what was my service? He said, Prabhuji, they all will make, we will offer it to the Supreme Lord, then they'll be brought to a room. In that room, only you will be there. In that room, only you will be there. Because one person is enough for that service. We have many other things. Since you asked, nobody should disturb you, you and Prasad. And what is the service? I have to make boxes of different combinations. Meaning, if somebody made only North Indian, somebody made South Indian, somebody made Westernized. So I have to keep one pasta, one samosa, one lasagna, one cookie. And that's one box. So it has everything. Just imagine my situation. I'm already hungry. Never fasted in my life. And now I not only have to see the food, I have to meditate on that food. What is the best combination? To look at pizza. No, pizza won't go with, okay, I'll keep pizza. Okay, noodles. Okay, I'll keep this. And every 2 hours, devotees are coming. Prabhuji, new batch. Here is a new batch. So giving all that prasad and keeping it. And somehow I struggled. And at 12 o'clock, I was in that room packing all the boxes. And as soon as I was packing the boxes, they were going out. Because Janmashtami day, entire city comes to the temple. ISKCON temple is filled with people. Like that small temple, which might be, I think, 1/4 of this hall is the temple. 1/4 of this hall is the temple. And in that, more than 5,000 people come. Janmashtami. Just imagine 5,000 people in 1/4 of this hall. So they're just coming and going out. Abhishekam is happening. And whenever they're going out, there's a counter. On that counter, there is prasadam, so people can buy. They can buy their box. And who is making that boxes? Deep inside, right? Struggling with my senses. Krishna, Krishna. So that's what Krishna does. Wherever you struggle, he'll exactly press there only. Right? And that's how your attachment will go. So I was so much attached to food. You can see me even now. Right? So I was so much attached to food that he kept me between the food, but I can't have that food. Right? Now here is Prahlad Maharaj, exactly reverse. Exactly reverse. He's not attracted to anything and is kept in between the highest opulences. And is asked to rule for how long? Until the end of Manu's day. Right? Now Prahlad Maharaj is saying, O Supreme Lord, Because you are so merciful to the fallen souls, please hear these words, beautiful words of Prahlad. I ask you for only one benediction. I know that my father at the time of death had already been purified by your glance upon him. But because of his ignorance of your beautiful power and supremacy, he was unnecessarily angry at you, falsely thinking that you were the killer of his brother. Thus, he directly blasphemed your lordship, the supreme master of all living beings, and committed heavily sinful activities directly against me, your devotee. I wish that he be excused from these sinful activities. Right? Now, Supreme Lord is giving him everything and is saying, you did not ask for it, so I'm giving it, but you asked for something. Then finally, what did he ask? The same father who tried to kill him in 18 different ways, he asked what? Please liberate him. Please liberate him. And before that he told, actually, by you touching him itself, he got liberated. By you looking at him itself, he got liberated. But still, just make sure that you pardon him. You excuse him. Please be excused. Excuse him. Right? Now, after hearing this, Acharya explained, after hearing this, the ferocious Narasimha, his eyes were filled with tears. How can my devotee be so humble? That the very person who tried to kill him, he is asking for his liberation. He is asking for his liberation. Right? Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead is crying. And that too in what form? In the most powerful form. In the most powerful form. Parth. In the most powerful form is crying. Right? It's unimaginable. See, a rich person, a poor person crying, you can see. Sometimes on the street you can see. But when a rich person coming out of big house, big car, you see him crying, it's not an ordinary thing. Something extraordinary has happened there, isn't it? All the devatas are amazed to see the exchange of love between devotee and God. That God is crying. And out of that happiness, look what Lord Narasimha says, the last one. Says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, please repeat after me. My dear Prahlad, O most pure, O great saintly person, your father has been purified. Along with 21 forefathers in your family. Because you were born in his family. The entire dynasty has been purified. Right? Supreme Lord is saying that Prahlad, you are such a pure devotee. If you have taken birth in such a Daitya family, what are you speaking about your father? By your great devotion, 21 generations up, 21 generations down are all liberated. Right? So, Prabhupada and Mataji is, if our children take to devotion, if we take to devotion, don't think our family is benefited. 21 generations up, 21 generations down are benefited. Right? And if for any reason one of our child becomes a brahmachari in ISKCON, who completely dedicates his life, meaning doesn't have to be a brahmachari, again grahastha also, but he dedicates his life for serving the Lord. Just imagine the fortune of that family. Supreme Personality of Godhead will come with his own hands. He will not only take us, but take all our forefathers also, who are right now sitting in some planet struggling for job assignment. Right? They also will be delivered directly from there. We do Pinda Pradhan, right? For what? We do Pinda Pradhan for them to get spiritual benefit. But if one person in the family becomes a devotee, you are automatically delivering everybody out. Right? That is how much devotion is for the Supreme Lord. Right? Now this was Narasimha Leela. Next 10-15 minutes, I want to speak about some important questions, which I as a child had some questions, never got answers. But some questions that we all should have answer for. Can you read it loudly, bro? First question.
What mistake did the Lord do? Why he was made to suffer?
Now, do we have that question? What mistake did Prahlad do? Why he was made to suffer? Right? Genuine question, right? Is there anything wrong in the question? No. I mean, God is merciful. Okay, he wants to come and save. But why are you making him tortured first? It's like telling somebody that, you get beaten up and then I'll come and save you. See, I'm good. Does it work? Would you like such thing? So why did God allow Prahlad to be tortured? Right? Next. You look at like Bharat Maharaj. There are so many pastimes in Bhagavatam where Bharat Maharaj did one small mistake. What is the mistake he did? It's a big pastime. If some of you don't know, we'll discuss it sometime other time. But Bharat Maharaj did only one mistake. He got attracted to a deer at the time of his death. One mistake. What is the punishment? He took birth as a deer. Chitraketu Maharaj, he did one small mistake. What is the one small mistake he did? He laughed at Lord Shiva. With a good intention only, but he laughed. Because of that, he had to take birth as Vritrasura, as a demon. Parikshit Maharaj, he put a snake on the sage, dead snake on the sage. And because of that, he was cursed to die in 7 days and 7 nights. Right? But at least, I mean, these are all great devotees doing one small mistake. But the punishment was so much. In case of Prahlad, he didn't do any mistake only. Did Prahlad do any mistake? Why was he being punished for? Don't you all feel that, he took birth and then he was trained and he was being punished left, right and center. Right? He went through so much. So what mistake did Prahlad do? All he did was he prayed to Lord Narayan and told everybody to pray Lord Narayan. In his school, he went and told everybody to pray Narayan. So when such leelas happen, Prabhuji and Matajis, our children are going to ask these questions to us. Do we have the answers? Are we prepared to answer this? We should be prepared to answer this. Otherwise, not only will we lose the faith, our children will never have faith in God. So we have a choice. I can stop it here and we can have prasadam. Or if I created a suspense, we'll go on for next 10 minutes answering these questions. Do you want to continue? Yes? Okay. More questions. Why God has to create suffering and then come to save his devotees? Fundamental question, right? Chichu pettedi enduku malli neelu posedi enduku? This Telangana way of explaining. Right? Or how will anyone want to become a devotee if they see the way devotees are treated by God? Isn't it? Just imagine, I tell all of you, okay, everybody become Prahlad. Are you ready? As soon as you go outside, somebody will pour acid on you. Or somebody will throw, knives on you. Or somebody will try to kill you. And you'll come back and tell, Prabhuji, Prahlad nahi banna. Right? Nobody wants to become a devotee. Or if you say that it's one's past karma to go through, right? Some people say, it's one past karma to go through all these reactions in life. Then why even pray to God if it doesn't stop those miseries? Isn't it? See, if you all have past karma, if you all believe in the philosophy of karma, because of karma you are going through all bad things in life, then why even pray to God, right? Anyway, you'll get those bad things. God is coming. Is he stopping the bad things? He is not stopping. Devotees are also going through bad things. Normal people are also going through bad things. So why become a devotee? How many have this question? Lift your hand. I even become a devotee. Kai ko become a devotion karna, temple jana, anyway I am going to suffer my past karma. Right? In simple, if I put a summary of all these questions, there is nothing but. Can everybody say it loudly? I can. Yahan pe good kaun hai? That's what you think, right? I'm the best person. I'm the good person. Why are bad things happening to me? Right? Why am I going through all this? Right? So a lot of people have this question, but people don't have a right answer. People don't have enough answer to give to their children also. Right? Can all the children settle down? Too much of walking around is happening. Yeah. Okay. So Prabhuji, there is a long answer for this. If I know you all go to YouTube, you can go and YouTube SSR 2019 batch. Why do God, laws of karma? Why do bad things happen to good people? There is a 3-hour discourse. 3-hour discourse explaining you all details of why such things happen, which I can't tell now, because if I tell 3 hours now, our fasting will go till Janmashtami, 12 o'clock. Right? Everybody is fasting, so I don't want to go on with this. So we'll finish in short time with another level of answer. Okay? Short answer to today's discussion at least. Number 1, see from God's vision. See from God's vision, not from your vision. What is the question we are asking? Why do bad things happen to good people? So don't ask like that. Ask instead, what good people do when bad things happen to them? Why can't you ask in a different way? Right? The same thing. What good people do when bad things happen to them? Entire Srimad Bhagavatam scripture is all about how bad things are happening to good people and how are they dealing with it. Right? There is a different way of looking at life also. That why don't you ask God that prepare me? Right? So entire Bhagavatam is saying, even in Bhagavad Gita, what is the thing? Bhagavad Gita is to prepare Arjuna for a war and say that it is right to do the war when he is not prepared for it. Right? Preparing him for that. So one is see from God's vision. God is looking at you at a different way. Don't ask why bad is happening to me. Instead ask how good people are dealing with when bad happens to them. Next, levels of love. There are two levels of love. Number one, love that protects us from danger. And another love is that prepares us for danger. Right? One is protects us from danger. Krishna, save me. Bhagwan, mera raksha karo, mera raksha karo. That is one way. And another way is, Krishna, give me the consciousness that I can face any danger. Now, look at yourself as parents. Which one you prefer to give to your child? Protect him from all dangers or prepare him for dangers? Of course, we also protect him from danger. But as parents, we also prepare them from dangers, isn't it? So we expect Lord Krishna to love us as we are. Hare Krishna, Mataji. I'll tell when. Yeah. So we expect, please hear the sentence very clearly out. We expect God to love us as we are. We expect God to love us as we are. But Lord Krishna loves us too much to let us live the way we are. He doesn't want to leave us like that. He loves us so much. A parent also, he doesn't want to leave his child like that. A parent wants to improve his child so he can face situations in life. Isn't it? Again, otherwise, what will happen? If you keep your child in AC room, in 5-star hotels, in AC classrooms, in all facilities in life, and then everything the child asks, you immediately supply to that child. Everything, without any gap. And that fellow goes and joins Infosys or Microsoft. What will happen to that fellow's boss? Can he fulfill that child's expectations? That person's expectations? If he says, okay, this year no hike, immediately he'll shout, how dare you not give me hike? If he says, do this work, no, I don't know, how dare you give me that work? We are creating a demoniac person for the world. If we are not training our children to deal with surprises, to deal with realities of life, isn't it? Giving too much comfort to children is not really a comfortable thing to do for the children. You have to tell them to face challenges of life. I told this example many times, but I always like to repeat it. Once I went to Inorbit Mall. In Inorbit Mall, there used to be a Bajaj Electronics on the ground floor. Now it is not there. I went there to buy earpods. My earpod kharab ho gaya tha. I went there and then I saw at 8:30 in the evening, one person in blazer, maybe some director of some company, he brought his wife and a small child. Right? Child is like, must be around 8 years, 8-9 years child. So they were searching for fridge, a big fridge. Right? So they wanted that big, Antim Prayanam kind of fridge. What is it? With 2 doors, 4 doors. Last ko bhi andar dal do, 5 days rahega. So that kind of fridge they wanted. So he was like showing off to his wife also, maybe, you choose any fridge, I will sign the check. Like that. And the child is looking at mother and father. Mother is like, I want this fridge. The fridge was 2,85,000. I'm talking about like 8 years back at least. 2,85,000 check. I would think so many times to buy such a kind of fridge. But that person, immediately, I don't know what director he was. Okay, he'll buy the fridge. Manager, immediately. The sales boy came. Say, ye fridge humko pack kar. We'll take this fridge. We like it. Now the next thing, he wants to show off. Right? He wants to show off his authority in front of his wife and child. What did he tell the salesman? I want this fridge today. 8:30 in the evening, 8:30 in the evening, when the store is going to close in another 1.5 hours, maximum by 10, he's telling the salesperson what? I want this fridge right now. And the poor salesperson, sir, it's 8:30, sir, all delivery vans have gone. We have stock. We'll deliver it tomorrow first thing in the morning. No. Call your manager. I don't want to deal with sales boys. Call your manager. And the poor fellow manager runs and comes in. Because he's paying 2,85,000 for a fridge. Right? A manager comes and immediately starts on the manager. I am coming here. I'm your esteemed customer. I'm taking this fridge. Don't you have any customer service? I was thinking, what's wrong with this fellow? Maybe his customer shouted at him in the office. He's trying to take revenge by becoming customer. So he came and he started shouting. And that manager is tensed. This fellow is shouting. And just imagine that 8-year-old boy. The 8-year-old boy is looking at the manager, looking at his father. And what lesson did he learn from that incident? You can ask and get anything by shouting. It is okay to shout and get anything in life. Is that true? This is how we put values into our children. We don't teach them patience. We don't teach them tolerance. We don't teach them adjustment. We don't teach them accommodating things. And ultimately they'll become Hiranyakashipus of today. Right? So here the Supreme Lord does not want to leave us like that. God wants us to change. And because He wants us to change, He brings incidents into our life which will make us change. So there are two levels of love. Love that protects us, love that prepares us. Right? So Prahlad went through all that to teach us a lesson, and we also can learn that sometimes bad things in life are needed so that we can become prepared. You all understood? Yes. If God doesn't teach us, then we'll remain the same. Isn't it? We'll remain the same. But by these incidents in life, whatever God has planned for us will become more mature, responsible, and it helps us grow. Right? Next reason. Only two more reasons. Lord reciprocates according to what we ask. According to what we ask, Krishna reciprocates. So how do we understand that? Focus not on expectation, focus on contribution. Right? What Krishna is doing for me is an expectation. What God is doing for me is an expectation. Whereas, how can I serve the Supreme Lord? Is a contribution. If you have the mindset of a contribution, you will never blame God for anything that happens in your life. You all agree with that? Agree? Mere saath aisa kyun hua? Why did God do this to me? I don't deserve this to happen. All these problems will come when we have expectation. Whereas if you are like Prahlad, who are ready to give, you'll never have a problem in life. Indra, two people prayed for Lord to appear. When Hiranyakashipu was ruling the entire planets, one person was in a very difficult situation. Who was that? Indra. Uska ghar hi nikal gaya. Right? He was supposed to enjoy the heavenly planets, but suddenly uska ghar hi chala gaya. So what did he ask? As soon as Hiranyakashipu was killed, Indra became very happy and he wanted to go and tell Lord Narasimha that thank you very much. Now we can perform sacrifices in the Indraloka also, and we can make you happy. By the way, we'll also have heavenly benefits. Right? Now we get back all the opulences. What did Prahlad ask? Prahlad prayed to remove all material desires from his heart and prepare him to serve as devotees of the Supreme Lord. Look at the difference. Both are devotees only. Indra is also devotee, Prahlad is also devotee. But who is a pure devotee here? Prahlad. And he had no expectation. Because he had no expectation, even though his father was trying to kill him in so many ways, he was never disturbed. Just imagine Indra being thrown from a mountain. What will he say? Indra being put between snakes. What will he tell? But just imagine Prahlad. He was being tortured in so many ways, but he had no problem with it because he was totally grateful. Now, finally, confidence in Lord in all situations. Right? We don't know what. There are two ways of looking at life. We don't know what future holds. Other way of looking at it is we can know who holds the future. Right? Do we want to go in front of God and ask, "Mera kya hoga kal?" Right? Will I become successful or not? Will I clear this home loan or not? Right? Will I purchase this place or not? Will I become okay or not? Will this disease go or not? Right? All these are tenseful questions, right? You don't have an answer for that. You don't have an answer for that. We don't know what the future holds. So that's one way of looking at it. That you don't know what the future holds, so you're always in tension. But another way of looking at it is, you know who holds the future. Who holds the future? Krishna. Rakhe Krishna mare koi? Mare Krishna rakhe koi. That's the best insurance policy. What does it mean? If God wants to kill us, no one can save us. And if God wants to save us, no one can kill us. Simple, right? So devotees, we should have this consciousness. That future is holded by Krishna. Why should I worry? If problems come in devotees' lives, why should I worry? Are we all chanting Hare Krishna? Are we all serving the Supreme Lord? Are we all nicely taking care of devotees and temples? Why should we worry? He will worry. Krishna will take care of me. Why should I worry about life? Krishna will take care of life. So here, there is an analogy of a monkey holding its mother versus a kitten holding its cat mother. How does a monkey hold its mother? Tightly it holds. And what is a monkey doing? It is jumping around branches. Can you imagine the tension of that child? By mistake, if I leave, khatam, I'll fall and die, isn't it? So if you are trying to hold the Lord and asking for things, you'll always be in tension. If you are trying to hold the Lord and asking things, I want this, you'll always be in tension. But instead, try to become like a kitten. How does a kitten, who holds the kitten? Cat holds the kitten. How? With its teeth, it will hold the kitten. What is the kitten doing? It's very relaxed. Because who is holding him? Its mother is holding him, isn't it? So we should try to become a devotee and serve the Lord and his devotees without any discussion, without any thought, without any fear. Because he is holding us. Right? So what is better, being a kitten or being a small monkey? Kitten. This is good. That we should have so much confidence in God that we should not even fear to do anything for God. We are all fearful. ये करने से क्या होगा? ये करने से क्या? क्यों डर रहे हो रे बाबा? Do. You are a devotee of God. Do it. You want to give a donation more than what you can think? Give it. He will give you back. When you serve Narayan, Lakshmi will be behind you. You get that call, right? What is it? Do you want a personal loan? When you serve God, you'll get more such calls. But not loan. That call will not be for loan. Said, please take your money from here. It's already there. Lakshmi Devi will run behind devotees who serve Narayan. How many agree with this? Yes. Lakshmi will be very happy. Lakshmi Devi is that reserve bank. She wants to give money only to devotees. Yeah. So which is better? Of course, monkey. Ordinary miracles. People look at the whole pastime, saying that ordinary miracle. Oh, Prahlad ke upar, they throwed stones also, he didn't die. Huh? Oh, they throwed poison also, he didn't die. He didn't. What a miracle Prahlad is. This is how world looks at the pastime. But how devotees look at it? Real miracle is how Prahlad was fixed in his devotion in spite of going through all this. Right? That's another way of looking at it. Instead of complaining why God made the devotee suffer so much, instead of that, try to understand how he reacted for whatever happened in his life. How he always remembered and was happy. Srimad Bhagavatam shows how devotees hold their faith in all situations. Right? Krishna says in 9th chapter, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashit. Right? He says, my devotee will never be perished. Don't worry. He'll never be perished. So final slide. There is a transition from danger to devotion. Right? It's a beautiful way of explaining. When there is danger in life, there is more danger and there is more devotion. Where are we situated? We have to assess. When there is no danger, no devotion. What is that situation? Complacent, comfortable. Nal mein pani aa raha hai. Power backup is there in the apartment. Why should I pray God? Again, everything is working. But if power goes for half a day, what happened? Where is God? Why it is happening to me? Isn't it? That is when gated communities, getting devotion is very difficult. Very difficult. Because you're too complacent. Everything is given. सब कुछ है घर में, क्यों आएगा डिवोशन? है कि नहीं? Yeah, comfortable. Let God be happy. I am also happy. You be there happy. I am happy here. Right? God, तुम अपनी जगह पे रहो, मैं अपनी जगह पे रहूँगा. That is being complacent. When there is more danger and less devotion, then what happens? You become indignant. Meaning, you start crippling. Life is unfair. Praying to God is immoral and violent. One person in UK, in London, he got so angry on God that he actually put a case in court, saying that nobody should be allowed to pray because this God is completely unmerciful and he doesn't have any, there is no purpose of, meaning of worshipping God because he doesn't do good to anybody. He got so angry because he was facing too much danger, but he had no devotion. Right? And next level is danger and devotion. There is a lot of danger, there is a lot of devotion also. Then you become dependent. Because you have devotion, you become dependent also. Isn't it? Like you always take shelter of him and you always feel protected in the dependence. Right? But the ultimate stage, more than dependence, is diligent. Diligent. What does it mean? It means determined, faithful, and serious. Because here in this stage, there is lot of devotion and there is less danger. So there is no reason to call for God. But still you are maintaining the devotion. You understand? The greatest test for a devotee is not when there are a lot of dangers and he's going and praying. The greatest test is when there are no dangers, is he going and praying? Are you all understanding? That is the greatest test. Oh, I'm suffering, so I'm going to God. That is one way of looking at it, right? So complacent people, they choose sometimes to go to Satsang. Why should I go to Satsang? Chalta hai. This week, no problem. And people in indignant state, they are like, no Satsang only. I don't want Satsang. Because what is the use of going to Satsang? There is no point. Dependent people mostly go to Satsang. But diligent people are eager to go to Satsang. Because the devotion is more. Devotion is tested when we are in danger. But greatest test of devotion is when we are not in danger. Right? As I told, first one is circumstantial devotion. Because there is danger, I am becoming a devotee. No intention of pure devotion. But here it is intentional devotion. In spite of having alternatives, I am becoming a devotee. Right? So Prabhuji, did you all understand this? Okay. Please meditate on this. I can send this presentation. You can go through it. But we have to keep on asking a question, in which quadrant do I fall? Where do I fall? Where am I in all this four? You should keep asking that question to yourself. So to summarize, how God protects us? One way of looking at it is see from God's vision. Right? Instead of asking, why bad things happening to me, ask, how should I deal with when bad things happen? And another way, levels of love. One is to protect us from danger, another is to prepare us from danger. Right? Next is, Lord reciprocates according to what we ask. If we are asking for devotion, then we'll never complain. And finally, confidence in all situations, that He is there to protect me. Why should I worry? Why should I be worried about the future when future itself is in His hands? Right? And finally, do you want to be dependent and you want to be diligent? Right? So you want to be dependent at all times so you can face any danger, and you can also become diligent that you are ready to serve Him in all circumstances. Always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So please repeat after me. Shri Narasimha, Jai Narasimha, Jai Narasimha Dev, Praladesha, Jaya Padma, Mukha Padma Brinda, Ugram Viram, Mahavishnu, Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham, Narasimham Bhishanan Bhadram, Mrutyum Namamyaham. Let's chant this 2 more times. Ugram Viram, Mahavishnu, Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham, Narasimham Bhishanan Bhadram, मृत्योर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णु ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नरसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्योर्मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्. So please remember this mantra every time you are in difficulty, every time you are not in difficulty also. You can chant this mantra, right? And Supreme Lord will come into your life and protect you in all situations, right? One more time. Ugram Veeram, Mahavishnu, Jalantam Sarvatomukham, Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram, Mrutyor Mrutyam Namamyaham. Shri Narasimhadev Bhagavan ki, Shri Narasimha Swami Bhagavan ki, Bhakta Prahlad ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. So next we have Narasimhadev here and Lakshmi Narasimha Swami Prahlad Maharaj is here. We will do a small arati. We'll just repeat this arati, and as soon as it gets over, I'll start the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and all of you can come in a line and take some flower petals there and offer it to the Supreme Lord, offer obeisances, and then have prasadam. Okay? First, let us sing this, and then you can start. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladalaine Hiranyakashi Purvaksha Tilakankanakalaye Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Narasimha Vahir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha Narasimha Mahim Sharanam Prapade Avakara Kamala Karenakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Karma Brahma Kesavadhuta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Avakara Kamala Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Karma Brahma Kesavadhuta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Narasimha Dev Narasimha Dev Narasimha Dev Jaya Narasimha Dev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Bolo Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. भक्त विघ्ननाश के नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज की, देसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्रील गुरुदेव की, निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परम सुप्रदिकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर जीवांगे देसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, जय ओम विष्णुपाद परम सुप्रदिकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर जीवांगे भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, प्रेम से बोलो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। ओम श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोप गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की, नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, पुण्य क्षेत्र वृंदावन धाम की, गंगे माई की, यमुने माई की, भक्ति देवी की, कलियुग पावन तुलसी महारानी की, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ट्रांसजेंडर बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, ट्रांसजेंडर प्रसाद डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे। All glories to all assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhobhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav vrinda ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much for attending today's festival. Sorry it went on a little late than planned. Now you can, Supreme Lord Bhoga offering is over. Yeah, I think it's just taken. Yeah. So you can all offer flowers here while we do some little kirtan. Yeah, we'll do some little kirtan. You all can offer flowers, and whoever wants to participate in dancing, you can dance. We'll switch off the lights. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Kunjan kirtan. Yeah. Abhishek. Full Abhishek. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So my request is everybody, please don't discuss anything else except devotion in this hall right now, and you can do Abhishekam here and have Prasadam. And you also can chant in Kirtan. So in Kirtan, don't sing with me, sing after me. Dance. And dance. Very good. You can remove this carpet slowly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. अंदर पाड़ाले सभी लोग गाइए हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.